Bajoran workers, your attention, please. Your attempt to seize control of this facility is going to fail. You are valuable workers, and we wish you no harm. However, if you do not return control of this to your classy supervisors, we will be forced to take action. Make your decision.
What happened to your crew?
Oh, we were dead.
Mr. Sewell, you will lay in an evasive course back to the Constellation.
Aye, aye, sir. Belay that last order, helmsman. We're going to attack.
You will carry out my last order, Mr. Sewell.
I am assuming command of the Enterprise.
But I would advise against it.
Scotty, get us out of here. Prepare to beam me aboard on my signal. Gentlemen, I suggest you beam me aboard.
Bajoran workers, your time is running out. But it's not too late. You can still surrender and save your lives.
The Enterprise has taken on a life of its own.
I believe the Enterprise may be forming an intelligence.
And is turning fantasy into real-life danger.
You're saying the ship is under the control of the holodeck?
Now, can anyone regain control of the Enterprise?
I don't know if we can stop the ship.
Before it sacrifices the entire crew?
It's an earthquake.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I'm glad to see you've come to your senses. Stay where you are. When Cardassian security arrives, they will place you into custody, but you will not be harmed. You have my word.
There's only one way to catch it.
Then make this missile unstoppable.
Only one way to change its course.
Millions of innocent people about to die when you detonate.
Only one way to prevent disaster.
I'd be killing myself in the process.
Only one way to stop a doomsday missile from hitting its target.
Hang on.
This way.
Initiate the self-destruct sequence.
Star Trek Voyager.
Bajoran workers, you have not surrendered to Cardassian security. If you do not do so in the next 3 minutes, I will be forced to release neurocene gas into the ore processing facility.
What are you doing?
Sometimes I hum warp engine sounds just to soothe myself.
I get it. It's like... Security to Deck 11. Something is very wrong down here.
What do you think's in that cargo that has everyone so wound up?
I hope it's old communicators. You know, the original clamshell design?
Shields up. Yellow alert. Our crew is ready and focused.
Do you know how hard it is to get cheese out of bird?
Bajoran workers, you have 2 minutes left to give yourselves up to your Cardassian overseers and save your lives.
Captain's log, stardate 4731.3. The M5 Multitronic unit has taken over total control of the Enterprise.
I can't run a starship with 20 crewmen.
The M5 can.
That thing murdered one of my crewmen, and now you tell me you can't turn it off?
Sir, sensors are picking up 4 Federation starships.
It's firing.
Hit on the Lexington.
We're firing again, sir.
The Excalibur, a direct hit.
The Hood and Potemkin are moving off.
Lasers firing, Captain.
Lexington, hit again.
There's your murder charge. Deliberate, calculated. That thing is killing men and women. 4 starships, 1,600 men and women.
It misunderstood.
I believe the only way to stop the Enterprise is to destroy her. Request permission to proceed.
I'm sorry, but your time has run out. I was hoping you would be reasonable. Rest assured that your deaths will serve as an example to prevent similar incidents in the future.
A Cardassian Tuesday device
Your attempt to seize control of this facility is going to fail.
Triggers a countdown to destruction. I can't override it. Next time on Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Well, are we doing a stream? Are we doing a stream?
I just thought that we were watching old promos.
Yes, I thought that was the plan too. Just go watch old promos, guys.
I mean, I'm down for both, honestly. Like, why Porque de los Dos, or however you say it, was in French.
Yeah. No, we will be for today's little stream. We will be discussing what Star Trek thinks of AI, and I really found going through this. There's like 4 series that like really tackle AI decent amount, and their views on it I think are actually kind of interesting. I think it kind of shows the views of the culture going through, because it's different. Like the way the original series handles AI versus TNG is vastly different. And what's strange is I think probably the ones that have the most in common is how the original series handles AI and how Lower Decks handles AI. Although they handle it from different angles. One of the original series is going to be more menacing. Lower Decks is goofy. But yeah, they both seem to have negative ideas of AI. But
Please turn down the volume
of Lindsay.
I guess every time I do this stream, I lose more of my hearing.
I can do that. But fine, I'll turn down. Lindsay, you got turned down, at least for this.
That's fair.
But yes. Are you okay now?
Yeah, it's fine. I always feel like it's just like a bit too loud for me.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
but yeah, no, like the series I think really talked about AI. It's obviously the original series, TNG, Voyager, and then Lower Decks, and then real quick things, a couple things to go over. This isn't going to cover all the AI episodes because it's tough to find a complete list, so I'm just grabbing what I can figure out.
I will say, obviously, disclaimer, what we envision as being AI has changed a lot over the years.
There's that
and
too,
most of these are not supposed to be specifically about generative AI.
Yes. Although I feel like Lower Decks definitely has the most to say about that.
Which checks out.
Yes. But yeah. Yeah, it's well, when we dive in, it like the thing also to understand is like what Star Trek talks about AI and what we talk about as AI kind of fucking different. And I think it's also worth stressing. The AI that we call AI anymore, it's learning programs. I'm an engineer. I understand what this is. It's just learning programs that they're trying to oversell and, you know, let learn excessive amounts. And they just, you know, I think it could be a useful tool, but it's just being manipulated by the rich and wealthy to abuse our system. It's my high horse. Yeah.
I just want to generate images of my D&D characters doing cool things. I don't understand. Like, why is that like eating up all the water and destroying the atmosphere and all that stuff? Just let me take care of it, you know.
They're almost like bragging about, oh, we're destroying the entire world by creating all this AI shit. And it's like, okay, number one, what you're creating is art. Number two, stop using all those resources. It doesn't need it.
Like, I'm pretty sure Trump said today, not to get political. We've never gotten political on the show, but I'm pretty sure Trump said today that
political.
100% true. 100% true. Now, Star Wars, now that's political, but no. Trump said today or yesterday, AI is like the next oil, whatever. Like, it's the next big thing. It's like the next big profit thing that we have to go into. And I'm just like, is it? Is it really?
I mean, even if they use the normal amount of resources with it that they would, it still is a resource consumer. It's not like, no.
I'm like very anxious for the AI bubble to pop.
Yeah, we will see. But yes, as usual, I got all these episodes lined up. We'll discuss each episode's kind of what the ideas behind the episodes are and tier rank them, of course, because that's what we do here. We tier rank Star Trek episodes because what else are you supposed to do with them? Honestly. And I actually thought to add the F tier this time because I always felt like D, like some stuff we put on D, it's like, okay, this is really bad, but like I feel like there's stuff that's like worse.
Right.
And I add it for this one, and actually looking over the episodes, maybe I'm forgetting, but like I don't know if there's any actual true F tier in this set. We'll see, but
yeah, it's just nice to have the option.
Yes, we can really dump on something if we want.
It's like two things for me. It's like a D in school is, depending on the class, a passing grade, and two, it's good to get into the habit of putting the F up there, even if we don't use it. Just so we get used to like having it be like a part of
the options available to us.
And I mean, honestly, like we think of C as being kind of like a low grade, but it's really supposed to be just kind of like the medium section.
Yes.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, when I say D is passing, I'm not saying seek your D's in school. I'm just saying that you can get by in some classes with D's. That's all.
Yeah, in some classes, in other classes.
No.
But are we ready to get started?
Oh, I'm down to talk about some Badgie. Let's go.
Yeah, well, we've got a minute till we get there, but yeah, we will get there. First up is actually one of the least AI episodes that I think it's worth talking about. But like I asked like threads what episodes I should include in this, and this came up pretty overwhelmingly. It was Return of the Archons, and it actually it deals with a fascist government. It deals with the purge before the purge happened. We've talked about this episode before. They beam to a planet where every once in a while they do a purge and everybody can just do whatever they want in the streets. And then it's all led by this guy named Landru, who's a hologram on the wall. But what makes it on here, why it makes it on here, is because at the end, we discover Landru is a computer. And this is the first example of Kirk talking a computer to death. Which
the first
happens quite a bit in these episodes. I want to say 4 out of the 5 episodes conclude with Kirk talking the computer to death, which is kind of awesome.
The best speaker ever.
Yeah, he can just destroy that computer just through conversation. Thoughts on Return of the Archons?
I still love this intro. This is one of my favorite teasers.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. Like I love freaking Sulu, and having the bad thing happen to him. I guess we shouldn't go too spoilery. It's just like it really hooks you into it.
It's a 60-year-old episode. I think we're okay.
That's true too.
But yeah. It opens with them like Sulu and I want to say Random Red Shirt on this planet doing an away mission. I think the Random Red Shirt gets captured, but then the Sulu is able to get away, but he still gets the mind whammy on him. And so when he transports to the ship, he's all like, "Fucking Landru is my best bro. I love him." And there's even a point, because this is season 1, so usually in season 1, Sulu's second command. And I noticed like midway through the episode, Kirk and Spock are on the planet because of course they are.
Yeah.
And I was like, Scotty's in charge. That's weird. And I realized, oh yeah, it's because Sulu has the mind whammy on him. It'd be weird to put him in charge. Yeah, I will say, I think this is overall a very cool episode. I like it overall. I will say my biggest critique of this one is it suffers pretty noteworthy from the drag that you get from TOS occasionally, where it's obvious they're just stretching out the episode a bit.
Yeah.
So it's not a perfect episode, but I think it's solid. Ashley, what are your thoughts? Oh, go ahead, Lindsay.
I was just gonna say, did they ever justify why they have to purge every day? Because that's kind of the thing about the Purge and the Purge movies. Doing it once a year, you have time to recover. Doing it every day, no, that's just going to be a spiral. Your society's just going to go down.
No. Obviously, it doesn't. Landru knows.
That's true. Okay,
These are questions for Landru. You need to ask him. But yeah, Landru as the tyrannical computer leader. What are your thoughts, Ashton?
I will say, on like the topic of sort of like the purge setting, I always find stuff like this kind of interesting in stories because it tends to sort of, because don't get me wrong, if we did go into a society for even like an hour or so where everyone was just allowed to do whatever they want with no consequences, I'm certain there's a certain number of people that would take that opportunity to do really wild and immoral stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like it always, in stories, it tends to turn into this thing where it's kind of like everyone's kind of doing stuff like that. And I think it's kind of interesting, and I think it reveals a little bit about kind of how the authors feel about humanity, as a whole. Like if we didn't have these sort of structural rules, people would just do that sort of thing. It kind of reminds me of a book I read in high school. I'm like so off the AI topic right now. It reminds me of a book that I read in high school. It was called Lord of the Flies, and it sort of seemed to take sort of an approach like that as well.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, I think it's kind of an interesting concept, but I don't think it's one that I necessarily agree with. You know?
Yeah, no. Well, I've always made the joke that, like, listen, if the Purge ever became real, they better look out, because I'm going to be downloading so many music and movies on that thing. It's going to be insane.
I'm just out here hitting up all of like the niche record stores.
So if we were ranking this, where do we want to put it?
It is a pretty iconic one, and like, I do love the moment where Kirk kind of starts figuring it out, and he realizes, like, oh wait, so we can just kind of just say no, we're not going to follow your orders, and you just don't know how to respond to that. Is one of my favorite moments in Star Trek. That's like, it's so good. Like, what do they say? Like, they like convene with each other for a minute, and then they like, I don't believe that you heard me. We are going to repeat the order one more time.
Yes.
So I'd say like an A, just because that moment is just so damn good. Maybe a B, like that'd be okay.
I mean, I do bounce between A and B on this one. I don't think it's S, but like, it is kind of classic in a lot of the stuff it does. And just, I mean, we'll see this throughout the original series, but just the concept that Kirk can logic a computer to death is just kind of hilarious. I mean, we know now, at least the way AIs work now, you can't logic it to death. It is fine living with dislogic. It will just keep on doing its thing.
I will say, I'm not really like I don't have super strong opinions on where it goes, but I will say I don't think it should go any lower than B. That's I think concept wise and through probably like 75% of the episode, I think it's pretty solid. I just think there's a bit of drag in it. That's my biggest critique of this one. If it was like a 40-minute episode, it would probably be much higher in my estimate. But that brings us to the episode that I think actually starts dealing with AI, the Changeling. I know my mom always says this is like the prototype version of Star Trek the Motion Picture. Cool. I can see that argument, but essentially they come across this small, like they think it's like a really small ship out there, and you know, like they end up exchanging some fire with it, and it's way more powerful than they are. They're like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, oh my god, it's really small. It literally beams aboard their ship, and it's a computer designed to wipe out all organic life because it views it as inferior. But it quickly assumes that Captain Kirk is its maker, because it was made by somebody named Jackson Roy Kirk, and its files have been damaged. So it's like, oh, Captain Kirk, Jackson Roy Kirk, same dude. So it follows Captain Kirk's commands, and the computer goes around and just kind of does whatever the fuck it wants. This is the episode where Uhura gets her mind completely wiped and and instead of like just restoring her, she has to relearn everything, which is just wild. And the joy on McCoy's face when it's like you get to teach her everything, and the joy on his face is so confusing and baffling. It's like, why are you like, it's good to bring her back, but why are you so joyous about like having to re-educate somebody from scratch? That's kind of weird. Again, it also ends with Kirk logicking the computer to death, essentially saying, "How can you be flawless when you're made by a human, and you made the flaw that thinking that I'm Jackson Roy Kirk? How are you able to do this?" And just logic it to death that way. This is another thing. This is also trivia. This is also an episode where Scotty dies, and the computer just goes, "Oh, we can fix this unit. Oh, we can."
I forgot about that. Scotty did die.
Yes, he totally died.
Like gesturing to her, can you fix this unit? And he's like, there's nothing wrong with her.
She's I just wiped her memory banks, but she's fine. And it's like, oh shit. Thoughts?
I think this is for fun. Like Spock, so you have like right there in the thumbnail, Spock providing a freaking mind meld on a robot just by itself is kind of just like a bit of a novel concept. The connection, I do like that you brought up the connections to Star Trek: The Motion Picture, because I definitely had those vibes while I was watching this.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. I think it's cute that there's just this awkward little thing just floating around the ship, and it for the time it looks pretty good. And you know, it's not an incredible episode for me, but it's pretty dang good. I had fun with it.
I mean, it's weird. Like I think they have a lot of the same story. I think Motion Picture looks better, But I think I enjoy Changeling more, even though I think there's more issues with the story of Changeling. I think it's more entertaining.
Yeah, honestly, I think it probably could have benefited from having a bit of a longer runtime.
Yeah,
To be able to flesh stuff out more.
Maybe not as long as the motion picture. But
yeah, maybe not quite that long. But I could see it making a pretty good movie if they really wanted to and were committed. I do like when as previously stated, I do like the Spock mind meld scene with the robot. And one thing that I really enjoy about that is that he's really obviously just kind of like spinning it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of fun.
But yeah, I think obviously, once again, looking at the AI consequences of this, it's dealing with an AI and it's pointing out that AI is kind of fucking stupid, and it kind of fucking is.
And it makes flaws and mistakes, which is huge. Like, I think there's gonna be a lot of recurring themes of that throughout these. That AI is a very flawed concept. Like, it can do interesting things, but when it makes mistakes, it can like really stick to its guns sometimes. And like, I mean, this is just my own personal experience, like random ChatGPT stuff and things, but like it is not willing to admit when it's made a mistake at times. And
absolutely not.
Even like what 60 years before all this, like I think this is kind of a good and like it's ahead of its time in an interesting way.
Yeah,
you can shove evidence in its face. It'll be like, no, I'm right, you're wrong. And we'll encounter that later as well with another one for sure.
Also, just like to confirm, doesn't Uhura get her mind wiped for the heinous crime of singing on the bridge?
Yes. That's the crime she committed. She sang on the bridge. The computer's like, what the fuck are you doing? Let's wipe this shit. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Let's wipe this. This unit's defective. I kind of lean towards an A tier on this one. What do you guys think?
I mean, go with that. It has.
I'm okay with that.
I think it's pretty engaging and has some good points. So.
Yeah, it definitely deals with AI a lot.
So it's on brand.
Yeah, it's very much on brand.
Oh, on topic. I mean, on topic. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say Return of the Archons is the only one that's kind of a little bit off topic, but I get it. It also has to be included because it's Kirk talking a computer to death for the first time.
Yeah.
That's important.
It's a superpower.
Yes. Next, we have a definitely a more comedic approach with Mud. The crew is abducted by an android that is under the control of Harry Mudd. And he has an island of androids that follow his command. Most of them are beautiful women. What a shock. He even made a android of his wife who likes to yell at him, and he likes to visit her occasionally, and she will yell at him, and then he will walk away.
If they were ever to just bring like a random Star Trek character back and I get to play the character, I want to play Mudd's android wife and just yell at him.
He has it coming. He is such a douche. And here's just another douchey Mudd episode. That's kind of what drives me nuts about Harry Mudd in Discovery. He is such like the evil dude in Discovery, and like in the original series, he's just kind of the goofy douche that they have to deal with occasionally. Who
makes a shrine to his wife. That was my favorite part of the whole wife thing. It was a shrine. It was like, okay.
But again, they're dealing with these androids. The androids eventually take over from Mudd because they're only interested in talking to him as much as they can learn from him. And after that, they're like, "Oh, we'll just learn from the rest of the Enterprise crew. Fuck you, Mudd." But yeah, the whole crew gets beamed down to the planet, and androids take over the ship. And Kirk has to defeat them by acting so illogically that they burn out.
I gotta say, the thing is, TOS is already at times so cheesy, even when they're not trying. So, like, when they do try, it's
so much cheese. But I will also say, like, when they get to that really cheesy part where they're just trying to fucking just confuse the shit out of the computer, it is so stupid that I am laughing. It is pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
It basically becomes an improv show, kind of. Yes. Just like the crew of the Enterprise just be like, let's be clowns for a minute. Yeah. And sure, I'm down.
They're dancing, they're pretending to play music, but of course no music's being played. And Kirk's like, isn't the music beautiful? And the robots are like, there is no music. And he's like, it's beautiful, right? And then they start killing each other with finger guns. And it's like, then the robot's like, you can't kill somebody like that. And it's like, but he did. and now he is better. And they're like, the computer's like, what the fuck?
Isn't there like a part where it's like Uhura pretends to slap? I forget which one it is. It was like one of the. It's probably either.
I think it was Chekhov.
I think it was Chekhov.
Yeah,
Chekhov in the face, and Kirk is just like, oh, she likes him.
Yeah, they're like dancing together, and then Uhura just slaps him in the face, and Kirk's like, she likes him. Computer's like, the fuck. Listen, is this a brilliant fucking critique of AI and robotics in the world? No. Is this entertaining? Yeah, it kind of is. It's a lot of fun. I kind of lean towards A tier. What do you guys think?
I'd say like a lower A, but I'd be okay with that. I really like the effect on when the dude like lifts up his shirt. It's like, oh, you got like a little robot panel on your belly button. That was kind of fun too.
He does. Yeah, it's not great art, but man, I'm not gonna lie. This episode does give me a smile quite a bit.
Any excuse for the main cast of TOS to just do shenanigans.
Yeah. Listen, you know the cheese you guys usually do? We need you to up that. And next comes up pretty much a classic episode. I think lots of people list this as one of the classics, the Doomsday Machine. Planets are literally being destroyed, and the crew discovers this machine that they think has destroyed the planet. They encounter a old ship called the Constitution. Anyway, pretty sure. And it was commanded by Matthew Deckard.
I think so.
And he evacuated his crew to save them to a planet. Unfortunately, that planet was destroyed, and he was the only one to survive, and he's having a breakdown. And yeah, Kirk theorizes this is just a machine released by, like, meant to be like, you know, he radiates. It's kind of like the H bomb. It's supposed to be the war killing weapon, the thing you're never supposed to unleash, because it'll just destroy everybody. And somehow it got unleashed, and he thinks, and we never have any follow up to this, which is kind of cool. It's just a device that's out there killing everything. And there ends up being a struggle for power where Kirk and Scotty end up stuck on the old Constitution ship, and Spock and Deckard fight for control of the Enterprise. Deckard is clearly not in the state to command the ship, but like he's pulling Federation. I do think this scene's wild. He's pulling Federation regulations, and Spock's like, "Well, I can't overrule the Federation regulations." And McCoy's like, "But you have to do something, Spock." And Spock's like, "Well, the only thing that can be done, Doctor, is he can be found to be medically unfit to take command. Hint, hint, wink, wink." And McCoy's like, "Oh shit! Then in that case, I'll do that." And then it's like, "Okay, did you? Where's your paperwork?" And it's like, "Oh shit." I do think it's kind of wild because I would assume there's anything like that, and McCoy should know this. And the fact that Spock has to remind him is wild. But it should be. I would think it'd be fairly clear, like essentially, you should require him to do a medical exam, and if he refuses the medical exam, you can use that as grounds to rule him some shit. And McCoy seems to not know shit, which is kind of wild.
I don't know. You're acting like kind of weird. Go away.
Yeah, he's like, "Spock, you can't just let him take command." It's like, McCoy, if he's insane, that's your department. But overall, I think this is kind of a classic episode. It's entertaining. I love that mainly deals with a lot of character stuff. There's this planet-killing weapon, but we're mainly dealing with the issue of this old captain who's gone insane and just is like, "I'm going to do everything in my power to destroy it," and them having to combat with that while also dealing with this planet-killing weapon. I think it's overall a very cool episode. What do you guys think?
Very action packed. I'd heard of this episode before. I had never seen it before, so I wasn't quite ready for kind of the epic space battles, as epic as the '60s could do. Like it was. I was impressed. The effects, are very '60s, but they look good for the time. Especially the ship itself is just so weird and alien and just anti anything that we've seen in Star Trek since, or I guess it's kind of like the thing that from the Whale movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. But they're obviously different. But like there's some similar elements to them. And I do like that they never really learn that much about this thing. The fact that it
Mhm.
remains a mystery is, I actually think, is a really cool choice, because it's just so
Yeah.
freaking old. It's just so freaking big, and it's just so freaking powerful. It's just beyond us in a lot of ways. And like I know, like they brought this concept back in the book sometimes, and like they tie it to the Borg and other things like that. I think that's just not as interesting. It's just a big mystery thing in space. Personally, I had a lot of fun with this one though.
I'm okay with exploring it more. I don't like the idea of it being connected to the Borg. That seems kind of wonky. But yeah, I won't be down. So this is always the episode I bring up, for example, where I think the Kelvin movies kind of missed the boat. Like, especially, mainly this is a critique of Into Darkness, because like, in my opinion, they had so many stories to draw upon, and they decided to remake Wrath of Khan, which is just baffling in my opinion.
Got the big screen release.
Yeah, and like if they want to remake stuff, look at old episodes like the Doomsday Machine, an episode that you could probably expand upon with a much bigger budget and make something pretty fucking cool, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, as it is, this is a cool episode, but like, you know, imagine this with like a $100 million budget. Holy crap, that would look wild. But yeah, I think this is a pretty solid S tier in my opinion. What do you guys think?
I really enjoy episodes like this because I'm very into like character driven narratives. I really like sort of the way that fiction can allow you to explore people. I think it's very cool. So I think sort of like the story about the captain and having that sort of be a catalyst for so many things that happen is, I think it's very cool, and I like it. I put it in S.
It's also a very Ahab story, which I appreciate the way. Yeah.
So yes, very much so. Yeah.
Man, I need to read that. Actually,
I've never read it, but yeah, I mean, they harken back to it a lot, especially in Star Trek. I mean, that was Star Trek 2 did that. Star Trek 8 did that as well.
Also, one of my favorite versions of that story is the '90s TV movie starring Patrick Picard as Ahab. Just Patrick. You know what I meant.
Yeah. I really love James T. Shatner as my that
Jerry of 9.
Yes.
Jerry of 9.
I know who these people are. But that brings us to our last TOS episode that really deals with AI. But okay, so we're a bit quiet and our guest is a bit loud. Are you a little loud, Lindsay?
Possibly. Let me see what I can do about that.
Let me see if
I can see you though, Lucifer.
Audio a bit.
Audio.
Here, I can boost our volume.
Oh, I'm using my okay.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Are we louder now? I can't hear you, Lindsay.
Yeah, I can't hear you at all.
Actually, I am hearing something, but it sounds very distant and grainy.
Yeah.
You can't hear us though, Lucifer, right?
I'm not confident.
Nah. Oh, Lindsay vanished. Hold on. Microphone shenanigans, indeed. It's madness. Hey, we're audible though, so there's something. Yeah. But yes, God, we're almost to the end of the original series. Yeah, Lucifer, you just derailed the whole stream. We lost Lindsay. You know, we have nothing now.
We're never gonna see him again.
Yeah, we're listen. There's nothing for us to do but just stare at us. But just stare at each other in the screen awkwardly. Awkward.
Star Trek Into Darkness is a 2013 American science fiction action film directed by J.J. Abrams and written by Robert Orci, Alex Kurtzman, and Damon Lindelof. It is the 12th installment.
We gotta go about Star Trek. Here, Lindsay, can we hear you?
Words?
Yes. Oh, you seem a bit quieter too. So,
do I? In a good way or bad way?
I guess Lucifer will have to answer that because I'm not sure. Like, do we sound about equal? It's tough for us to judge.
Yeah.
I do hear you two a little bit better. On my case, I think what happened was my mic on my webcam was being used instead of my mic. So that's why I said it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lucifer's saying we sound good. So let's go ahead and talk about the ultimate computer. So
another really exciting one, by the way. I didn't expect to get two back-to-back kind of epic action-pack episodes like this. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. So the ultimate computer deals with a computer made by the foremost computer scientist of the time, Richard Daystrom, a name that will never ever be repeated in Star Trek history ever again. Definitely not in this set for sure. But yeah, so he invented this new computer that can run a ship like the Enterprise on like 20 crew members, and knows the exact answers for everything. There's even this point where it takes control of the ship during a battle simulation, and what the admiral in charge says, I want to congratulate Captain Dunzel or some crap like that. And it was like, what the fuck does that mean? Everybody's like, what does that mean? And it turns out it's like Captain Dunzel is like an old Federation term meaning a useless captain or some shit like that. And it's like, god damn, that was a dick thing to say to Kirk. What the fuck? But yeah, the computer essentially starts taking control too much and starts killing people. And Kirk has to talk it down again, of course, because he has a talent for that. But yeah, I do think it's hilarious how many computers Kirk just talks to death. But this is a solid one in my opinion. There's some fucking cheese for sure. I love when the crew member just like there's a laser beam that shoots out towards a crew member, and then it just does a hard cut and they just vanish, and it's like, oh, they're dead. They're dissolved into nothing. I did think that was just a hilarious death scene. Just like, oh my god. But I enjoy this one quite a bit. What do you guys think?
I like it. I will say I kind of want to give a shout out to William Marshall as Richard Daystrom.
Okay,
I think he's quite good.
He is very good.
Shout out to him. But yeah, no, I think it's kind of a classic as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Lindsay?
The thing that reminds me the most of is actually a later episode from TNG, the one where they're testing out
it's here.
Okay, so the stream didn't hear that. Cool. Okay, there was just an ad came on through the fucking tier maker. Okay, you're fine.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Whatever the episode is, was like they're testing like the Enterprise versus like an older ship, and like the dude's there and he plays like the game with Data. It kind of reminded me of that episode a little bit. So I wonder if it's a precursor for that. But I do think it's again just basically just like having this much action in an old episode of Star Trek, especially space action, not just like the punchy kicky stuff that they do on planets all the time. They were really swinging for the fences with this one, and some of the effects have not aged very well, but in all, I really like it. I like how the resolution of the episode comes from the fact that their shields are just not up. And so that shows to the other Federation ships like, oh, okay, so they're not a threat anymore. I think that's a really interesting Star Trek way of resolving that conflict. This is a fun one. This is a really fun one.
Well, I don't know if I quite consider it as good as Doomsday Machine. I'm kind of comfortable throwing this one with S tier. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I put it in S tier.
I think it's fairly solid.
Yeah, definitely
it doesn't really deal with the drag, but yeah. Like it's a really good one. It's I feel like these three, like, they're good, but they have issues, and then like these two are actually pretty good. Although Doomsday Machine is definitely the superior. It's also the only one where Kirk doesn't talk the computer to death at the end. But I do think it's interesting how you look at the original series take on AI, and it's very antagonistic for the most part. Maybe with a little exception to iMud, but for the most part, it's like AI bad, robots bad. Robots don't do things. Humans do things. I think that's kind of an interesting look at how they viewed it back then.
Yeah.
And then kind of we're going to have kind of middle ground here with the most entertaining movie ever made, Star Trek: The Motion Picture. V'ger has come from who knows where, and is wiping out all organic life. And the crew of the Enterprise, being the nearest ship, even though the ship is being refitted, so like it's under construction, but it's the nearest ship, and they have to deal with this V'ger situation. I also want to point out that it's the nearest ship because it's being refitted on Earth, meaning it's the only ship near Earth at this time. Like you would think there would be ships near Earth, but no, it's just the one ship being refitted, the Enterprise. Captain Kirk uses this as opportunity to take control from Commander Deckard, whose actor is apparently a real POS, so that's probably for the best. Yeah, so like Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
It's a real movie.
I think talk about Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I want to talk about. I think the visuals in this movie look fantastic. Like everybody makes fun of the loving shot of fucking Enterprise, and it goes on way too long. But they're doing that because it does look good. It looks excellent, but they just go on way too long, as a lot of the visuals do on this. There is kind of this idea of exploring this new life form that I think is kind of interesting, and we'll definitely get more into that as we get into TNG Air. It's not a great movie in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah. What are your guys' thoughts?
I'm like still kind of scared of this movie because of the time we watched it when we were in like we were like outside.
Yeah, we were. I think I showed it to you in the car waiting for Evan.
Oh, we were just like drenched, and it's just watching these really like slow-mo shots of like, look at how beautiful the Enterprise is.
By the way, lower decks did it better. But Lindsay, what do you think of Motion Picture?
Decks does most things. You guys can hear me, right? By the way,
it was a little choppy, but let's see.
Bit.
Right now, it seems fine. Wait, did we lose him?
Okay.
No.
Okay, I'm okay now though.
I'm not sure.
Oh. Am I?
I know your camera's frozen.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. I think there's a delay though.
Okay. Well, the hearing me is enough then. I love this
you're
movie.
moving now.
I love its slow pace. I love the. Okay, cool. The AI is killing Lindsay. Yeah, this is very true.
Oh no.
I like this. I really enjoy this movie. It's weird. It's very 60s. I love the pacing of it. I love the visual design of it. I love that I love everything about it. I love that it's basically all about sex. I love that it's ended by two people going off to start a family together. And essentially this is a great movie. This is a movie that really bridges the gap between, I think, humans and AI in a lot of way, because that's basically what V'ger is, even before it takes over that poor little lady. She's already like a human robot thing in some weird way, isn't she? Did I make that up? It's a fun one. I still think this is one of the best Star Trek movies, honestly.
Oh wow. Yeah. I won't rank it that high, but I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's
it's very visually compelling. I think from a technical perspective there's lots of cool stuff about it.
And the idea of the mission, and I know this is I guess I like this mixing with the Borg a bit better, because there have been people theorize that this is like the true origin of the Borg, where the computer ends up mixing with the one Commander Deckard, and people are like, that's an origin point for the Borg. It's like I could see that. I don't know if it works all that well, but I could see that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I also have to say, do we need an origin for the Borg? I feel like everyone's always trying to give an origin for the
Absolutely
Borg. Absolutely
not.
We don't need origins for everything. Sometimes it's better to just live in mystery a little bit. I
Yes,
think.
yes. No, we need the complete backstory of the Borg. We need the complete backstory of the formation of the Dominion. We need to know how Vorta were cloned. We need everything. We need. What are we thinking with this? B?
Yeah,
I'm okay with B.
Yeah.
High B.
Yeah, okay. I can go with that. Like, even though I have my issues with this, like, it's mostly to do with the pacing. I think the storyline's interesting, and I think the visuals are kind of amazing. Like if we were judging Star Trek movies by visuals, I mean, Star Trek: The Motion Picture might be number one. And that brings us to our one entry of season 1 TNG, and we'll also see a bit different look at AI in TNG than we see in a lot of other of the Star Treks. But this one's kind of almost like a throwback episode of old school AI, and kind of a doomsday machinist too in its premise. So they come across a planet and all life is like wiped out, and they kind of knew a little bit of background about this planet. They're like, well, if it's completely empty, let's beam down and see if we can figure out exactly what happened. So they beam down, and they instantly are coming across all these little fucking war games and stuff like that designed to trap enemies and stuff like that. And yeah, they're quickly getting trapped. They get Riker in this weird bubble thing. Data and Yar have to work together to blow up these little drone strike things. Crusher gets a fucking broken leg, and Picard has to watch over her for a little bit. And it's all being run by this old computer that was set up to sell weapons to aliens, and it wiped out the culture.
Yep.
So kind of definitely a negative view on AI, which is not something we're going to see a whole lot of it when we're looking at TNG. Which I think is interesting to discuss about. But yeah, this one's kind of like just AI conquered everybody, and Picard just does something really stupid to trick it into shutting down everything, where he essentially says, you know what, I'm buying all your weapons, every single one. And it goes, awesome, so sale made. The actor's name is eluding me, Vincent Scarelli, I want to say, or something like that. The actor who plays like the AI who's trying to sell him this. I do kind of love him in this episode because he just comes off just like the sleazy salesman type thing. I do love him in here. Listen, it's TNG season 1. I don't think it's a great work of art. However, I would probably say this is probably a better season 1 episode than average. But what are your guys' thoughts?
It's fine. I'd put it in maybe like C, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. What do you think, Lindsay?
I'm trying to get the guy's exact name because I love him as an actor. I'm pretty sure he did a couple episodes of Buffy, and he's
seems
a really
familiar.
good actor. But
actually, is he? Maybe I should have
What?
looked this up beforehand, but I think he might be the guy from Ghost who trains Patrick Swayze how to like interact with real life, essentially.
Oh, is that the
It's
same
been a while
guy?
since I've seen it, but I think it's him.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's been it's been a long time since I've seen Ghost, so do not take my opinion on that in any way, shape, or form. Oh wait, am I?
You were a little choppy, but I think you're back.
There was a moment when you were very still and quiet, and I got scared. But then you came back, and I was like, maybe he just wasn't doing anything at that point in time. Maybe he was deep in thought.
Oh, we lost Lindsay again. Son of a bitch. Oh, wait, he's moving? He's moving? Is he there? I don't know what's going on. I did not think of the clown episode, but that is a great one.
Shout out clown episode. Of
Yes.
I'll lock that one.
Let's see. Is Lindsay coming back? Watch, Lindsay's actually hosting the entire show. We're the ones that are completely locked out. We're the ones that are... Star Trek Into Darkness was a 2013 movie directed by J.J. Abrams.
I think I got rid of. It
stars Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, and Zoe Saldana. with Carl Urban as Bones.
It is the 12th installment in the Star Trek franchise and the sequel to the 2009 film Star Trek. As the second in a rebooted film series, it features Chris Pine reprising his role as Captain James T. Kirk, with Zachary Quinto, Simon Pegg, Carl Urban, Zoe Saldana, John Cho, Anton Yelchin, Bruce Greenwood, and Leonard Nimoy reprising their roles from the previous film. Benedict Cumberbatch, Alice Eve, and Peter Weller are also in the film's principal cast. It was Nimoy's last film appearance before his death in 2015. R.I.P. Set in the 21st century, the film follows Kirk and the crew of USS Enterprise as they are sent to the Klingon homeworld seeking the terrorist John Harrison.
I will say The Thaw is an excellent episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was thinking about it, I might have included it on here, but I didn't really think about it. But it is an excellent episode. Shout out to The Thaw.
Yes. After the release of Star Trek, Abrams, Burke, Lindelof, Kurtzman, and Urchi agreed to produce its sequel. Filming began in January 2012. Into Darkness's visual effects were created by Lucasfilm's Industry Light and Magic. The film was converted to 3D during its post-production stage. It premiered at Event Cinemas in Sydney, Australia on April 23rd, 2013, and was released in IMAX theaters in the US on May 15th, 2013, with release in standard format theaters the next. How dare you?
You keep going, they can't hear it. Man.
Into Darkness was a financial success and received positive reviews from critics. Really? Okay. Its gross earnings of over $467 million worldwide have made it the highest grossing entry in the Star Trek franchise. It was nominated for Best Visual Effects at the 86 Academy Awards. It was followed by Star Trek Beyond in 2016. In 2259, Captain James T. Kirk is removed from...
Lindsay, where are you?
Is removed from command of the starship USS Enterprise for violating the Prime Directive by revealing the ship to the primitive inhabitants of the planet Nibiru to save them and Spock from a cataclysmic volcanic eruption.
Lindsay, you have to stop dropping out. Otherwise, we're just going to learn so many factoids about the great movie Star Trek Into Darkness.
I mean, look, if that's what the cost is here, I'm okay with that, honestly.
Anyways, thoughts on Arsenal of Freedom? That's where you cut out.
Great actor. What's his name? Vincent, whatever. I love him. He was definitely on Buffy. He was one of the gypsies who cursed Angel with his soul.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
This is just a fun one. It's a Yar episode. It's a good Yar episode where Yar's actually doing some cool stuff.
I think it's worth noting Yar is probably one of the best developed season 1 episodes, which makes it kind of disappointing because like none of the Yar's one of the best season 1 developed characters. And I think it makes it kind of disappointing that she dies so early. Because like even though I will say season 1 the best developed season 1 characters, like a lot of the characters aren't very well developed in season 1. But yeah, Yar had potential.
She did. And I love the way that they figure out how to kill these things. It's like, I shoot, then you shoot, then we shoot together. It's like a puzzle. They have to figure it out. It's not just shoot until everyone stops moving. And I like the design of the little robots. They're kind of cute the way that they go like, they just kind of just zip around. This is a very fun one. This is a very, very good one. And I love that. I don't know if this got mentioned or not, but the way that they beat it is by Picard's like, yes, I'll just pay whatever you want. I'll just do anything. Just stop this, whatever you need. Like, that's all it took. That's all it took.
Yeah. But yeah, you talk about how like Data and Yar have to work together to defeat a lot of the drones and stuff like that. And I do like that element because every drone is a little bit tougher. It's a little bit more resistant. They have to figure out how to beat it. I don't think it's great, but like I think it's entertaining, especially for season 1. Are we thinking C or B? I'm between those two for this one.
I'd lean B just because I really like the moment when they all get attacked and Data grabs Yar and throws her behind cover because they have their cute little relationship. It's like she really does mean something to him. I think that's great.
That is cool. Yeah, I do like that touch.
That's fun.
Also, the whole subplot of like Picard and Crusher. If you talked about this while I was gone, I'm sorry. Are in the hole, and it's like they're trying to use like old school medicine, like based off like plants and stuff like that, to heal them while they're dealing with these like crazy robots. I like the contrast there. I think that's interesting.
rest assured that the only thing that you've missed while you've been gone is hearing me recite the Star Trek Into Darkness Wikipedia page.
I mean, we're going to be educational while you're gone, so we will learn everything there is to know about the greatest Star Trek movie ever made. Nay, the greatest movie ever made, Star Trek Into Darkness. Yes. Anyways, next up, we're moving on to season 2. We got 2 season 2 entries. This is the first one's kind of more antagonistic towards AI, which is Elementary Dear Data. And this tier maker keeps on throwing an ad in our ear, which is really fucking obnoxious.
6th time it's happened this stream, and it's happened, I want to say, like 5 times in the past 5 minutes. Or something
yeah,
like
no,
that.
it keeps on popping up a new ad, and I keep on muting it, which is just frustrating.
It's always about how we want to buy a new car too. Stop.
Anyways, the story is they have like a few hours. They have like 8 hours or something before they actually have to do anything, where they're meeting up with this ship. So they have some off time. So Data grabs Geordi and they decide to do some Sherlock Holmes shit. And I like Data goes through the mystery super fast, then Geordi gets upset and kind of storms out. And I thought that was kind of an overaction by Geordi. I get like maybe it's not fun, but it's like let Data do his thing and then pull him aside and say, hey, maybe we could actually work together and solve a mystery. That could be fun. But yeah, they essentially go back, and then Pulaski is being just the biggest bitch of all to Data, being like, you could never have deductive reasoning like Sherlock Holmes. You don't even understand deduction, Data, because you're a dumb fucking robot. And Data is like really like excited by this challenge and goes, yeah, I'm gonna show you that you're being a dumb bitch. But yeah, they take Pulaski in there. Geordi decides to program the computer to make an opponent capable of defeating Data. So the computer makes a self-aware hologram in the form of Dr. Moriarty, played by Daniel Davis, who
incredible
is
performance.
shopping for his next car. No,
8th time.
But he's one of those actors who's really gone be well known for his British accent, even though he is very American. But yeah, he always has a British accent anymore. Stop. Why would they do this to us? I wish I could like, can I like, hold on. I kind of want to see if there's somewhere I can just really get rid of this shit here. Does that clear it? Okay, hopefully that clears it. All right, I clicked on the fucking ad. Go away. But anyways, it makes an opponent capable of defeating Data in Dr. Moriarty. We see Daniel Davis in one more episode, and then and then he gets a preview, cameo in season 3 Picard for reasons. But yeah, I think I really like his Moriarty. This episode's kind of a mixed bag for me. I think the premise is kind of fun and interesting, even though I think it kind of says a lot about how the fucking holodeck is designed, that it can just make sentient life, apparently, if you give it the right order. It's like, wait, holy fucking shit.
The holodeck is honestly just hungry for blood, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, we will get to holodecks being hungry for blood in a bit, but yes, that is an element. But yeah, and I think it's kind of a cool premise. I think the ending's kind of underwhelming, because essentially they just go to Moriarty and say, hey, we'll store your hologram until we figure out a way for you to leave. And he's like, okay. And then that's it. What are you guys' thoughts on this episode?
I enjoy how many times Star Trek just goes out of its way to be like, we just want to put the actors in funny costumes, and have them do like different genres and stuff like that. And I appreciate that this is part of that tradition. I think it's really fun that Data's a Sherlock Holmes nerd. Yeah.
I do kind of like that, like Picard, he acts like kind of annoyed having to go in there and talk to him, but like he goes full into get up. He even has a fucking top hat and everything. So it's like, dude, you were ready for this. You're like, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Well, does he do the thing where he like pops the hat out too?
Yes,
so, like, he's clearly having some fun.
He is clearly like, okay, we're doing this.
I mean, if he's gonna go in there, he's gotta commit.
Yes. There's fun in this episode, but yeah, I just find the ending kind of underwhelming for the setup.
I do feel like it's a very Star Trek ending where they just kind of talk it out and kind of come to an agreement. I like that. And I love the fact that he's like constructed a thing in the holodeck that he yanks it and the whole ship just shakes. Like that's just such a great way to hold the ship hostage, even if it doesn't really necessarily make sense. This is a very fun episode for me. I think my favorite moment though has to be when Moriarty hands Data the piece of paper and Data just loses it. And we don't see what's on the paper for like a solid minute while Moriarty is just calling after him. Why does it scare you, Sherlock? Why are you scared of it? It's just like nobody is in power here. The hologram is in complete control. And then when we see the paper and it's just an image of the Enterprise, it is a bit of a brain break because how does he know about that?
You're on Baker Street. You don't know about this. What the fuck? You don't know.
And then when they're walking down the holodeck and everything's like glitching around them and like kind of breaking a little bit as they go, I really like this episode. I agree that the ending may not be the best part of it, but I adore this episode with my soul.
I even commented like when they walk into the holodeck for the last time and like he's breaking it and there was almost like a Blade Runner aesthetic to like the Baker Street that they had set up, and it was kind of cool. I think the ending really holds this one back for me, but I think it's not terrible. Like season 2, like I know people clump season 1, season 2 TNG is like just really bad seasons, and I will give you season 1. Season 2 has got some decent stuff. I would never argue it's the best season by any means, but like it gets a overhated reputation in my opinion. I think season 2 is solid overall.
I agree.
But I would go for B on this one. What do you guys think?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's valid.
Actually, I'd probably put above Arsenal of Freedom, although
I mean, what's his name? His performance alone carries this entire episode.
Daniel Davis is fantastic in this. And next, I don't know if we've heard of this episode. It's an obscure TNG episode called the Measure of Amon.
I think it's actually I think you don't know how to pronounce, okay? It's Missouri.
Pretty much, yeah.
Man, you gotta work hard to mispronounce his title. It's the Measure of the Man, obviously. But we Commander Bruce Maddox comes to the Enterprise and he's like, I'm really close to creating a positonic brain. I want to dissect Data so I can figure out how to do this. And Data's like, I don't want you to do that, so no. And then it becomes this huge debate because they're like, well, you're a robot. What gives you the right to say no? And it's this question of whether or not Data is sentient or not.
Yep.
I don't know what to really say about this episode that hasn't been said before. This is classic TNG. This is classic Star Trek. I think an argument can be made this episode belongs in the top 10 list of all of the entire Star Trek franchise.
Probably.
It's
fantastic. Obviously, I'd put it in S tier, but what are your guys' thoughts?
I think I would put it in S tier as well. I will say, on like the topic of us talking about AI, I think that this is sort of kind of an example of what I was referring to earlier, where like obviously like Data is a computer, but he's like not really comparable at all to what like we would call AI nowadays.
No, I mean he is
basically
but like
just like a dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, sentience is the big question. I think that's I kind of was tabling that for like when we get to the end of TNG, because TNG asks a lot of the questions about the sentience of AI.
Yeah.
And what we have right now, like the AI we deal with right now, what we call AI, it's not fucking sentient. Let's be real. It is a robot.
Wouldn't it be awesome if we had Data in real life? That'd be rather peak.
Yes. And it would be nothing like the AI crap we deal with now. But yes, Measure of a Man, I think is S tier.
I'm into that.
I'd probably put in between Doomsday Machine and Ultimate Computer.
Well, one of my favorite parts about this episode is it's not even like the AI stuff. It's just Riker and Riker having to treat his friend like this. It kind of breaks your heart a little bit.
No, I mean, dive a bit further into it. It's a great showcase episode. It's a great showcase for Data, kind of exploring like his rights. You know, does he have the full rights of a person? I think that's great, but it also explores Picard's character, because like there's a point at the beginning where I get the sense that Picard is maybe not completely sold that Data has rights, and then Data sits down and he makes his case, and Picard realizes, oh, wow, I've been wrong about this the whole time. He has rights. I'm in the wrong on this one. And that it's kind of cool to see Picard kind of take a step back and realize, oh shit, I'm fuck.
I do think it's kind of interesting because I think you could argue that at least at the beginning, Riker definitely seems like he's like much more like in support of Data's rights than Picard is, but he's the one that ends up having to go against him because if he doesn't, then he's kind of just automatically going to be carted off, and it creates sort of this weird, sort of uncomfortable dynamic where it's like he has to go hard against him, even though it could hurt him because like if he doesn't, like it's over.
I mean, it's a premise set up for this to do the storyline, but the premise is essentially there is no they don't have enough people at this starbase to do this full council, so Riker has to be the prosecution against Data, and he has to make a good case against Data, and if he doesn't, the judge will summarily rule against Data. So Riker, because he believes that Data is sentient and he wants to make the best case for him, has to levy a strong case against him. And it, like I will say straight up, is an emotion-based case that he puts against Data, but it is strong. It is kind of like when he turns off Data in the court, it's like, oh fuck, that is fucking damning. But
he takes his whole arm off. Like that's wild.
He's just dismantling him, then he's like turning him off. It's like, holy shit, man. He's treating Data like a robot, and that's kind of his job. But overall, overall, fantastic episode. And Data essentially going to Riker and saying, hey, why aren't you at the party celebrating our victory? And he's like, because Data, I was your prosecution. I was so close to winning that. I almost like just destroyed rights for you and anybody like you forever. And Data's like, yeah, but I know the context of why you took that. And if you didn't take it, it would have happened anyway. So I still owe you, man. And it's like, it's nice to see him patch things up after that. And I think it does a good job of setting up Riker where he has to do a good job. Just to defend Data, he has to do a good job. It's a great Riker episode, great Picard episode, great Data episode. It's a great episode. S tier.
Yes, let's go.
Next up, Data makes a daughter with offspring.
The child will be able to choose their gender.
Yes. Star Trek's never been woke. What are we talking about?
Woke Data.
No, Data essentially is experimenting. Like it's kind of like an offshoot of Measure of a Man, where Maddox was attempting to make a positronic brain. Where Data goes, I think I might be able to do a positronic brain, and he does it, and he creates himself a daughter. And there's some interesting conversation happening here, because at first, when Picard hears about it, he acts as kind of annoyed about Data, and Data literally just says, I'm sorry, Captain. I didn't know it was procedure for the crew to report their procreation activities to you. And he says that, and it's like, that's a good fucking point. Data's solidly like making point, but yeah,
you can't just do normal person stuff, Data.
Yeah, you can't. You're not a normal person, Data. You can't do that. And it's like, why not? But yeah, no, I think this is a very nice episode. The ending the ending is so predictable, but still kind of caused me to tear up a bit when it happens. Obviously, Lal doesn't make it, who is his daughter. There's obviously a dickhead admiral who's like, we have to take Lal away from you because we can't have that many androids in one place. So we gotta take her away from her dad. And pretty much the whole crew of the Enterprise is kind of like, he's her dad, and they're like, well, she has to leave the nest at some point. They're like, well, yeah, sure, but like she's like guys. 2 weeks old. We aren't there yet. I like this one, but what do you guys think?
I hear you on it being. Oh, go ahead, Ashley.
Oh no, you can go. You probably have more to say than I do.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I even as a kid, I remember watching this episode and thinking, oh wait, I've never seen Data with a daughter before. And that kind of like made me feel weird, and then like, oh, when she dies at the end, it's like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
not to be like, flippant about it, because Lal was an interesting character. I like her little journey. I like that she could start doing contractions,
yeah,
which her dad can't do, so she's already like learning,
depending on the writing of the script. Yes, depending on the writing.
Well, so I think it's a really subtle way to kind of get across how she's growing beyond what her dad was, and it's just a really good episode. It's memorable and it's sad. It's even if it's predictable, it's still sad.
Yeah. What are we thinking for ranking on this one?
I put this definitely in one of the higher tiers. I think it has sort of a good emotional core. I know I joke a lot about the line he's where he's like, the child shall choose their gender, you know.
I mean, that is a big part of the beginning of this episode, where
Yeah.
it's like the child gets to choose their gender, their race. He's pretty much like, when you see the beginning, Law is just almost like this. I don't want to say shapeless, but like almost this like alien android type thing. It looks like it's just supposed to be like the bare bones of the android body,
kind of nondescript.
and Data's just giving Law options. You know, what do you want to look like? And Law is able to choose everything.
Yeah.
Which is, pretty woke. Data is obviously a libtard parent. He obviously just needs to tell the kid, this is your gender. Fuck you if you have a different opinion. But no.
You're born as an amorphous blob, and an amorphous blob, you will stay.
But yeah, I think this is overall a good one. I'd probably put this one with A tier. What do you guys think?
Sense.
Yeah. That brings us to kind of a curveball, but I think fits in here. So like the Nth Degree deals with the idea of what happens when a human becomes a computer. And I think this is a fantastic episode, especially when you watch it as a sequel to Hollow Pursuits, where essentially you have Reginald Barkley, who just is the goofy guy. He's not quite the perfect Starfleet officer, but he's good. He's solid, but he's not perfect. And he likes to go into the holodeck, escape into his fantasies, and humiliate his higher ranking officers, and undoubtedly hook up with some of the officers as well. It's best not to ask questions too deep into what he does in the holodeck, but this is like the follow-up where in that episode, like, all the officers are like so much more professional and on time than he is. They're so on point, and he's kind of just like more the average dude. Here he gets hit with an alien ray, and he becomes like super fucking intelligent, to the point where he is so far beyond the rest of the crew, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, there's that great scene where like Riker is like, "Whoa, Barkley, how did you do this thing?" And Barkley is just explaining it to him, and you just see the look on Riker's face as they go further and further into the conversation, that he is just getting more and more lost as they go, and he's just like, of course. Riker's just not there.
Totally.
But yeah, eventually Barkley becomes the computer, and essentially it falls into kind of the cliche TNG storyline where it's actually just this alien thing. They implanted Barkley with advanced technology, and then they release it so they can meet the humans, essentially. It's kind of a fun episode. But I don't know. I like this, even though it falls to the TNG cliche that lots of TNG episodes do. I enjoy this one, but what are you guys' thoughts on Nth Degree?
I do like that you sort of have Barclay as a character who's just kind of like a relatively normal dude.
Yeah.
You could argue that some of the holodeck stuff is kind of creepy, given that he's
Yes.
using their likeness without permission.
Mhm.
But like, for the most part, he's just kind of like a regular guy on the ship, and he just keeps on getting into these situations, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's fun. I don't have super strong opinions on this episode, though, admittedly.
What do you think, Lindsay?
I enjoy this one. I like when Quark is like, "Computer, I need a blue, I need a blah, I need a blue, and I need a blue," and the computer's like, "That does not exist." "Fine, I'll tell you how to make it." It's just such a sassy moment. I really like it. The ending is like a little underwhelming, kind of. But again, kind of in that Star Trek way, where it's like, so this isn't about conflict. It's not about like action. This is about conflict. And I do like the idea of, we don't go exploring the galaxy, we bring the galaxy to us, is kind of like an interesting take on the, trying to be a Star Trekky type thing. So it's on the weaker side, but I do love me some Barkley, and that shot of him in the chair with all the lights going into his head has kind of been burned in my head my entire life. It's good, but it's not amazing.
I mean, I'm comfortable with this in A. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's cool.
I've always liked this one.
Honestly, I know we're like already in the middle of the tier list, but I'm looking back on it, and I do think the other Barclay episode would kind of be interesting to do because it discusses the ethics of. I mean, it doesn't really discusses it, but there does kind of like that thing where he's using like other people's likenesses without their permission, which is a real question about modern day AI. But it's too late now.
True.
So just like circle it around in your mind a little bit.
Maybe we will do a Barclay themed stream sometime, because that could be a shorter stream because he hasn't done that many episodes. But
yeah,
there's definitely things to discuss with Barclay.
Because especially stuff on Voyager, you can get some interesting mileage out of that, I think.
Oh yeah, there's actually a decent amount of Voyager Barclay stuff you haven't seen actually. Well, I think you've even seen that most of it. But yeah, that brings us to season 3 TNG. Oh well, actually, I think we're a little bit off here. I think Booby Trap was supposed to be before Nth Degree. I'm a failure, guys.
Shame.
Yes, I'm very confident Booby Trap is before Nth Degree, and I just want to say this again, Booby.
You're so funny.
I know, Booby. Anyways, speaking of boobies, this episode begins with Geordi on a first date with somebody.
Only date with
Julie Warner, yes. And a brief cameo in Star Trek. By the way, like I'm watching this and I'm like, this seems really awkward. Like, but you're on a beach. Like, this isn't a first date setting, but like you guys are acting like it's a first date, and then you find out it is a first date, and I'm like, Geordi, why the fuck are you doing a first date on a fucking beach? Like, what's wrong with you, dude? Do like food and games on a first date, bro.
And then he like brings out like the violists serenading them, and it's like, what is going on?
I mean, what are you doing, man? This is like third date material at the earliest, dude. What are you doing?
Viola, I'm pretty confident the writers probably intended it as being a violin, but when I look at it, it's just a bit too big. I'm pretty confident it's a viola.
I like how we've spent a decent amount discussing this episode, and we're in like the teaser pretty much. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, the whole episode's about the Enterprise. They go to this old ancient battle site to just kind of explore stuff, and they find this old ship. And they essentially end up in this ancient booby trap, this ship end up in, and they have to figure out a way out of it. Essentially, anytime they expend energy, the trap just holds them closer. They essentially have to figure out how to escape without pretty much using any energy. And part of how Geordi is troubleshooting this is he goes to the holodeck to where they have the plan, the prototype engine for the Enterprise. And he works with a hologram representation of the main engineer who created it, Leah Brahms, and they get kind of flirty.
AI helps him with his homework.
Yes, and it's total an AI representation, and you know that's actually the other thing we could discuss is the follow-up episode to this where he meets the real Leah Brahms, and it's not the same person. But
in another episode, does he actually meet her?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm gonna be honest. I just kind of assumed that she would have been dead.
No. She's still alive. Yeah.
Okay.
he meets her. He's all excited to meet her, and she is completely different than what he expects. And there's actually problematic stuff in that episode that bugs me. But like I do like how she's completely different than this hologram representation. This hologram representation is taken from like her public image and shit. It's not actually her, and it's like rubbing his back, being all nice and warm. That's not what Leah Brahms is like when we see her later. But
here's a question that I had the entire time when we were watching this episode. When we didn't watch it together, but when I was watching this episode on my own. So is this a representation of Leah Brahms, or is this the computer of Enterprise just kind of like now in a body? Because like, you know, the computer starts she starts saying things like whenever you're looking at this and whenever you're doing this, like you're looking at or you're working out with me, but like, yeah, like it's obviously supposed to be like wherever you go, I'll be there in your heart kind of a way, but also like, is it the computer talking through her? Like, does the computer crush on Geordi?
To everything.
Yes. Is this Leah Brahms or is this the Enterprise computer? The answer is yes.
Okay, for sure. Okay, gotcha.
I think an argument can be made, especially because it's beginning with her public image and the fact that, like, as he runs the program, it's accumulating data and knowledge that, like, she doesn't have. So, like, as the more the program runs, the less it's like Leah Brahms and more it's just the Enterprise computer. I think this is an entertaining episode. I don't think it's great. I think some of Geordi's issues with dating are kind of wonky, and I think probably my favorite moment here actually doesn't even deal with the AI, but it deals with Geordi talking with Guinan, and like they just have a normal conversation, and Geordi's like, how come I can talk to you and I can't talk to women? And Guinan's like, yeah, why can't you do that? And he's like, well, because it's different. And she's like, is it? Because that's the thing, it's not different, Geordi. You're making it different. You're making it fucking awkward taking her to a fucking beach on the first date, bro. Just fucking no, man. Yeah.
And like, look, if you have to do the first day on the beach, and you have to have the guy playing the music, can you at least have him be like over there, not like right there in your grill? Like,
yeah.
Like,
he was like right in their face playing it too, just like, oh.
And I know that's like the comedy of the episode. Like, it's supposed to be a heightened realism, so it's not, but it's still just like, it's so awkward. Oh, and then the moment towards the end, it's like the ship is running out of power. They're on their last fumes. As Geordi is like, please, Picard, please let me have one more date with my hologram girlfriend so I can figure this problem out. It's like,
there is that weird vibe to it where it's like, and then you could get the vibe when Picard just walks into the holodeck and he sees her. Like, his initial thought is like, the fuck are you doing, Geordi? Like, we're running out of power. I gave you this holodeck time so you could work on a solution, and you're with a woman? And you're
yeah, Picard's quiet anger when he's just like, okay, Geordi, just talk. And
it's just and like, Geordi does give him solutions, fortunately. Yeah. So obviously they were working on it, but you could tell Picard's first thought walking in, just like, what are you doing, Geordi? Apparently, I'm
just buying your car. Clearly,
yeah.
11th time.
Yes, it's just,
oh my god.
But yeah, I think this is a flawed episode. It's entertaining enough, though.
I do love all the history stuff, like the old battlefield, the old ship. Picard's like
super
into
yeah, that's
like,
very cool. Yeah,
all that's great. And then they find the recordings of the old stuff. All of that stuff was so cool. I adored that.
Mm-hmm.
AI girlfriend helps me finish my science homework.
I feel like this is a B tier. What do you guys think?
B is cool.
Yeah, it's not like bad, but like it's not. It's got questions, and I feel like it's definitely something to address when we get to kind of the overview of what TNG thought of AI. Yeah. That brings us to our second and last appearance of Moriarty in TNG, Ship in a Bottle. Also, another Barclay episode, and I did think it was kind of interesting to have Moriarty return in another Barclay episode. Kind of an interesting mix-up of guest stars there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, essentially, Barclay's going through the old holodeck programs. He stumbles into Moriarty. He's like, why is this program so big? Why is it held in like this reserved area? This is taking up a lot of data. We should do something about it. And then he brings up the hologram, and Moriarty's like, you need to bring the captain to me because this is an important thing. And Barclay's like, you're a hologram. What the fuck are you talking about? And it takes a moment. It's like, why would I take orders from you, bro? But yeah, essentially, they bring the captain and Barclay and Data to meet Moriarty, and it actually becomes this cool little mystery. And I kind of like the mystery they have set up and kind of the reveals of what's going on actually, because we're watching and they're coming up with these ideas to get Moriarty takes control of the ship, and he's asking them to come up with ideas to get him out of the holodeck so he'll release control of the ship. And they're like, how the fuck did he even gain control of the ship? And then as we're watching, what we slowly realize is that he hasn't taken control of the ship. He has actually kidnapped Barclay, Data, and Picard, and he's running them in a holographic version of the ship that he set up in the holodeck. And he's holding them hostage while the rest of the crew has to work on the solution. So you have Riker and Geordi trying to figure out how to get Barclay or Moriarty out of there so he can save the other three. And then Data and Picard and Barclay are figuring out, hey, this ship's a little sus, isn't it? Overall, I think this is a fun episode. I enjoy this quite a bit. I don't know if I'd put it as one of the best ones. Maybe it's an A tier, maybe a low A tier. But what are you guys' thoughts on this one?
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't remember this one very well, so I'm just going to like sit off to the side.
Oh
and
my
listen
god!
To you guys.
How do you not remember this one? What are your thoughts, Lindsay?
So I think this and Elementary Data are great. Peak Oh god, the holodeck is running rampant and horrible things are happening. This is like the gold standard for the holodeck gone wrong episodes. I think these two, and I love the reveal that they've been on the holodeck the entire time because it's so obvious. But like when you're watching this episode the first time
you
like,
watch it, you're not
yeah.
registering it. You're just like things do seem a little off, but like you're not like exactly on board. And then when Data is like, yeah, Geordi's, as I recall, Data figures out that like Geordi's like left-handed in this program. And it's like, oh, that's not right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's I mean, and the reveal is so good too because they keep throwing things to people to like just to like figure out who's left-handed and who's right-handed. So it's like an ongoing theme through the episode too.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of fun in this. If I have a big complaint, it's Moriarty's girlfriend. I feel like she should have been established earlier than she was. I know it's hard to like go back and like insert her into an episode she wasn't in, but it's and I like him having a girlfriend. Hey, Moriarty deserves to have a lovely lady in his life. He's awesome. There's just something about her being implemented into the episode, and that she doesn't really do very much. It kind of drags it down for me a little bit because like Moriarty's such this great character and he's got these great thoughts and ideas about what it is to be alive. And then he's just kind of got this generic girlfriend. And I don't know. I feel like that weakens the episode for me a little bit. So it's not quite as good as the original, but it's still very, very good. Because it's Daniel Davis in this role. And I'd watched him do this role for all time.
That's interesting because I would definitely put this above the original episode.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think the conclusion to this is so much tighter and just better than the original. I think the original ending is really kind of a letdown.
That's fair.
And this, I think, has a much better cohesive ending because in the end, what they end up figuring out doing is essentially they make a whole separate holodeck program for Moriarty to explore the universe, essentially. And yeah, he's just exploring in the holodeck. Yeah.
And I do like that because it is like the reverse of like, so, you were on the holodeck the whole time. No, Moriarty, you've been on the holodeck the whole time. I think that's great. And I love that they're always outsmarting each other when Moriarty is involved. There's no fist fights. There's no phasers going off. Like there's no rack and back falls where like Data and Moriarty go tumbling off, but then Data's fine because it's a holodeck. Like I'm so glad they didn't do that. So I do really like the ending of this episode. That is very true. And then when Barkley at the end is like, computer end program, kind of sheepishly, like he wants to confirm that he's in the real world again. That's adorable. I love that.
So I was arguing for this A. Would you be what we would do, A or B on this one? Because I won't put it as a classic, but I think it's solid though.
Yeah, A's fine. Again, if it wasn't for Moriarty's girlfriend, I would like this episode so much more. And it's not that I dislike her; it's just like she just doesn't do anything.
Well, I think the issue is they didn't really have any time to really establish her. This is the only episode she's in. Oh boy. Now we're almost done with TNG. We are on the penultimate TNG episode.
I have an important announcement.
Yes.
This is now a 5-star podcast, and you know why? Because there's a little kitty cat here.
Oh, Elam's here.
No, you can't really quite see him in the moment. He's like under my armpit. It's kind of funny.
You wanna say hi? Yeah. But
you could see him for a moment.
Yeah. He is.
He's a little fluffy tail,
right
kind of like
microphone.
fluffy tailing around.
Yeah.
Anyways, this quality of life. They go to this alien planet. I forget what the aliens are called, but the aliens have these tools. These tools are capable of solving complex problems. They have little replicators on their end where they can replicate whatever stuff they need. Elam's going to say hi to the podcast audience.
In my eye.
He does that all the time. FYI, Elam is unbelievably fluffy.
Oh no.
Yes. So they go to this alien planet. They encounter these tools that are capable of essentially smart devices able of figuring out a lot of stuff. And then Data starts figuring out that, like, because they notice these tools, they think they're faulty. They think they're ignoring orders. And Data is figuring out that these tools are actually sentient. And he starts fighting for the rights of these tools to be independent. And these things are called exocomps. We will be talking about them later too.
Yep. Actually, fun fact: I needed a break from hour-long Trek, and so I went and watched all the Lower Decks Treks, and so including that episode. I'm like, oh, hey, it's the little guy. Oh, I love these little guys. And then I went back to regular Trek. It's like, oh, it's the little guy episode. Yay!
But yeah, yeah. So essentially, it's kind of like just fine for the rights of these robots. What do you guys think about this one?
I love
do
it.
Exocomps have rights?
Exactly.
Do exocomps have rights? As long as you're not Peanut Hamper, amen.
Yeah, you speak like Peanut Hamper's a douchebag or something.
Look, we're not saying that Peanut Hamper has a history of douchebaggery, but there's a trend of it.
You know?
Yes.
I just every time I look at her, I just know
Mhm.
she hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah. Peanut Hamper sucks. This is a decent episode in my opinion. It's not top tier in my opinion though. I think there's much better episodes deal with the same thing. In fact, we've already talked about Measure of a Man for crying out loud. And then there's other episodes later that kind of deal with similar things as well to lesser or greater degrees. B?
Yeah,
B should work. I
C
really
seems a
like the
little low.
exocomms themselves. Like the episode itself isn't really anything to stand out.
Yeah.
But like there's so much personality and character in those
True.
little dudes, despite just being little dudes with no faces or anything to really emote with. They still find ways to have them be interesting and compelling to watch on screen, which definitely gets this episode like a lot of credit in my book. And the fact that one of them sacrifices himself at the end is so sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
Spoilers.
And then we're like, man, why can't Peanut Hamper do that? But we'll get to that. Next one is our final TNG entry, Emergence. An intelligence seems to be rising from the Enterprise computer and doing wonky things on the holodeck and taking control of the ship. And the Enterprise computer seems to be evolving into this intelligence until it evolves off the ship and flies off.
Mhm. I love that this is the second to last episode that has nothing to do with All Good Things. Like,
Yes.
Star Trek goes out almost on a holodeck gone wrong episode, and TNG does, and I adore that.
Yeah, so this is such a weird episode in my opinion. Like there are elements of this that I appreciate. Like in a lot of ways, it's almost like a TOS episode where it's almost just like we're just doing weird shit. Okay, the holodeck's taking over the ship. They're all on a train. There's these weird programs on the train. The conductor, I believe, is the same actor who plays fucking Big Lebowski and Big Lebowski.
That's
kind
what
of
it
fun to
was.
see
You're
him back.
absolutely
Yeah.
right. I spent the
Yes.
entire episode being, "Who are you?" That's exactly
that
who it is.
conductor is like, and then like at first you don't really think too much of him. And I'm like, geez, that actor seems kind of famous for kind of a small role. And then the Enterprise crew starts investigating the program, and then he's like, "Where's your tickets?" And you realize, oh, this guy's gonna be the antagonist. That's why they got somebody somewhat famous for him. My feelings for this episode are kind of all over the place. I think it is absolutely batshit insane, and I appreciate it for being batshit insane. But like, I also am not 100% sure what the point of this episode is.
I'm real big into the part at the beginning where Data is like talking about like the Tempest and stuff, and then they almost just get executed by a random like train.
Yes. It's like, oh, what the hell? Yeah, a train just almost runs him over. I don't hate this episode, but I kind of feel like maybe it's a C tier. What do you guys think?
I think that's valid.
It feels like a C tier. It's great. I love the beginning of it. Like, it's like, okay, what is happening? What is this train? Where is this all going? But then I feel like it kind of just gets lost in the sauce of its own, just like throwing stuff at the camera. And it kind of peters out kind of awkwardly. I was kind of passing out watching this the other night, if I'm being honest with you.
Well, yeah, it's an episode where it almost feels like, okay, so the Enterprise computer is evolving into something else. That could be interesting, but then it just like the what it evolves into just leaves the ship. So we're just left. Like it almost feels like they had to hit the reset switch, and it's like, okay, so all this gobbledygook insane crap means nothing towards a grand scheme of things.
I also have a theory I want to propose. While watching this, I kept getting flashbacks to the Rick and Morty episodes of On the Story Train. I don't know if you guys watch Rick and Morty or not.
I've not seen enough to know what that reference is. But
I've never watched Rick and Morty.
I've seen like the first couple episodes. They were kind of fun. I won't mind diving into it, but yeah,
it's a very hit and miss series. You're not really don't prioritize it. But I kept watching this, being like, was that episode of Rick and Morty referencing this? And that was one of the more interesting thoughts that I walked away from. so for whatever that's worth, that's my review of the episode. It's interesting, but it kind of drops the ball a little bit.
I think that's completely fair. But I do think it's interesting. So like, whereas the original series was very antagonistic towards AI, TNG seems more interested in like exploring what AI could become, and like if it's sentient, making sure that it has all the rights that a sentient being should have, which I think is cool, and I like that idea. I think it would be foolish to attribute a lot of the AI they're talking about in these episodes to the AI we currently have, because it's not the same thing at all. But yes, I think it's kind of interesting how views of AI have changed. Now,
also, I do want to point out that I do think it's interesting that like the way that the train is just like there's knights and like bootleggers and like miners and stuff like that. Kind of does kind of feel like AI sometimes, where it just kind of just throws things at you and it does no really rhyme or reason. So I think that's kind of aged well.
That is true. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I could see AI generating that train and just being like, what the fuck are we doing? Now we don't have a whole lot of Deep Space Nine episodes on here. There's a couple that kind of deal with it, but like mostly I wanted to focus on like,
you have one that's really funny. So.
Yeah, when we're doing this, we're talking about like more like AI kind of taking a life of its own a bit more, which is why I think the thought was kind of a miss on my part. But there's lots of the Deep Space Nine episodes that deal with like holodecks and stuff like that. It's not really the AI going insane or anything. It's just kind of and there are great ones like Our Man Bashir's classic, of course. But yeah, that's the computer like coming up with a solution, like a reasonable solution to an almost impossible situation. And then you have stuff like Bada Bing Bada Bang, which is pretty much a whole holodeck episode, but it's a program made by a person to be like a stealth program inside this other program. So
is that the one where someone almost takes over the casino?
Yes. And Deep Space Nine has to become gangsters to try to save it. It's only a Paper Moon is a fantastic holodeck episode, but again, it's not like a malfunction or anything. It's just AI doing its thing. One episode I think fits in here very well: Civil Defense. The crew of Deep Space Nine discovers an old Cardassian program designed to stop Bajoran workers from taking over the station. It's an AI program just designed to stop that. Anytime there's like some sort of Bajoran revolt, the AI program takes over and starts going, aha, we're going to shut down this area. We're going to shut this down. We're going to kill a life support. It's all these measures that throws at them. It's obviously just an old program, and the Cardassians left it because Cardassians are douchebags. But yeah, that it's accidentally triggered by I want to say O'Brien and Jake when they're messing around trying to clear out the computer system. And yeah, it just starts doing these slow death trap reveals. And I will say one of the things I actually really love about this episode is how it escalates. Like they'll hit this issue with this program. They'll be like, oh, well, let's, we'll shut it down. We will surrender the computer. We'll go ahead and shut down life support so it can't get us that way. And every time they think of a solution to buy themselves time, the computer comes back with something where it's like, oh, well, you bought yourself time, but not nearly as much as you think, because we're escalating things much worse than you're anticipating. Like there's a point where there's literally like the replicators are just creating laser weapons that just shoot everybody it sees. And it's like, holy crap. And I love how Dukat essentially pops up and he's like, I wasn't expecting to hear a message about the Bajoran worker revolt on Terek Nor. And he's just trolling them and trying to use the situation to his advantage. And the second he tries to beam away, another program kicks into place. And it's like, go Dukat. We always knew you were a coward, and now you've proven it. Trying to leave the station after a worker revolt. Your programs are rescinded. This is also one of the few episodes where we get to see some fun exchanges between Garrick and Dukat as well.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with AI, but like I love their exchanges in this episode because Garrick, like because this is an old program, this is one of the few places where Garrick's old security codes still have some functionality.
I also love that you don't see Garrick for a huge chunk of the episode, and then he just shows up.
Yeah,
and
he's just walking around into ops, and he's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" They're like, "How did you do that?" He's like, "I'm a tailor. What can you say? I'm a tailor."
You learn a lot while you're hemming pants.
All the codes you get when you're hemming pants, it's wild. But I've always enjoyed the crap out of this episode. What do you guys think?
Oh, 100%. This is one of the better, or one of the. Is this season 2 or season 3?
This season 3.
This is one of my favorites from season 3. Like, there's I think the I might have my timeline off a bit. Like, the Dominion stuff has started, but it's definitely not in full swing yet. So it's nice to kind of go back to like the roots to kind of get to a little distraction from all the Dominion stuff. I love just how smarmy Mark Alimo is in this episode. He's just like, oh, I've accidentally my way into potentially everything I've ever wanted. I'm going to enjoy this. And like, I also, this is just a personal thing. Every time Gul Dukat goes, Bajoran workers, I get flashbacks to my Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged days, and it's like, attention duelists. So that's just like my own little thing here. The escalation is great. I love that Cisco and Jake and Miles are just kind of off on their own little side quest for the entire time, but then Jake saves Miles. That was cute. It's a really fun one.
Ashley, what are your thoughts?
I think this is a really fun episode. Shout out to Yes9. Yeah. It's really fun. I think if we're like talking about the AI lean, I mean, I think there's an argument here that once again it isn't really AI, but I think you can still.
I think an argument can be made. This is a bit more like our AI than we normally deal with in a lot of these episodes, especially TNG stuff, where it's just a computer blindly following its program. It like you can add all the fucking context to the computer you want. It's not going to care. It's just blindly following its program. And
I mean, to a certain extent, I think the fact that it's kind of incapable of adapting to anything, which obviously like generative AI like isn't really capable of adapting to anything, but like you can't really like communicate with it at all. Like it doesn't really bounce off of anything besides like this very like sort of stringent this happened, this happens, this happens, this happens. And so I think in a lot of ways it's more similar to a more general form of preventative programming than generative AI.
Okay.
Not that generative AI is like super great at reasoning. I think it should be stated I'm not a big fan of generative AI. I don't like it. But I think the way that the programming sort of operates in this episode, I don't really think is very similar to generative AI. It's more just kind of like a program that they should have gotten rid of that they didn't.
I don't know if I'd necessarily say it's generative AI, but like there's definitely an AI element to this one. Where again, it is blindly following its orders. It doesn't know anything else.
Well, I disagree, but I think this episode is funny, so I don't care that it's on the list.
I don't know if it quite deserves it, but I really want A tier this one.
I kind of want to A tier it too. It's just so entertaining. No.
What do you think, Lindsay? Yeah,
I think A works, and it's also really cool because like it's a way to approach like, can AI handle these types of things? And no, it fucks it up horribly. It doesn't know what it's doing, and it's just making everyone's lives horrible. It's the perfect summation of AI right now.
I will say I do think it shows a good job of showing that like computer programs aren't smart, I guess. That's sort of, you see that a lot in fiction where you have like all of these computers and robots that are portrayed as just being so smart and so much better than ordinary people. You see, my thing is I've used computers before.
Yes. Yeah, they're not that smart. So next up we will be talking about Voyager, and I think Voyager's kind of interesting how it handles AI, because it's almost kind of a mix between stuff where it's like, oh, it's sentient, it should have civil rights, and stuff where it's like, it's evil.
Well, I like that Voyager asked the question of like, where does like just a computer being a computer stop and like actual intelligence begin? Which is, I think, true. A lot of these questions in this. Not, I mean, like Enterprise did a little. Not Enterprise. TNG did a little bit of that, but I think Voyager's, that's like its specific like ethos when it's trying to do this type of stuff.
I will say
And
TNG. Oh,
it's good. And the thaw. We keep talking about the thaw, which is an interesting episode. And maybe we should have included it on the list just because what's his name gives such a hell of a performance in it.
Michael McKean. Oh
Michael
my God,
McKean.
he's
Yeah.
terrifying.
So fucking good, man. But is it really an AI at that point, or is it just a computer that's responding to our thoughts as we're having them, or is that AI in of itself? Like, does that make sense? Like, or I guess that's like the question.
I think the fact that it's
does
asking
one
those
start?
questions really
Yeah.
means we should have included it, but we
Probably.
didn't. But yeah.
But it's a great episode. One of my all-time
yeah.
favorites. I love that it ends with Michael McKean saying the embodiment of fear the entire episode, saying, "I'm scared," and Janeway going, "I know."
Yes. So like Janeway, that is Janeway at her most terrifying too. Janeway telling the embodiment of fear, I know. Bitch, you know nothing.
I will say when it comes to like TNG and Voyager, and when they have sort of like these conversations about computers, the big emphasis always seems to be on, is it sentient? And I will say, I think when we're referring and we're taking this back to like sort of generative AI, despite what some clowns on the internet might try to convince you, generative AI is not sentient. So I think if we were to, so I think like if we were to sort of apply different sort of messages from Star Trek about this sort of thing, I think like stuff like Measure of a Man, for example, wouldn't really back up generative AI at all.
No, it
because
doesn't.
It's so, because like generative AI, like it doesn't have any consciousness. It just sort of spits out words and images.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I think that I think you're getting into more the ideas that we're exploring here. But yes, absolutely.
So actually, on that subject, recently I did a bit of an experiment. I was a little drunk. I started like plugging some story ideas I had into ChatGPT just to kind of see how it would respond to them. And some of them were interesting. Some of the things it suggested actually were legitimately good ideas, and I have stolen them. I am not above admitting that. But the way that it responds, it's like the same like 3 or 4, like, oh, actually, I think that improves this, or oh, now that you've said that, it actually is. So it's like it's just using the same things over and over and over and over again to respond to the ideas that you're throwing at it, which it's not intelligence. It's just reiterating itself.
It's kind of like a yes man that feeds you misinformation and also destroys the environment.
Yes.
You should just ask me to blindly follow everything you say and mislead you. The planet would be better.
Anyways, diving into Voyager, our first entry is the episode Prototype. I will admit, so they find this robot floating in space. B'Elanna repairs it, and it turns out he's from this culture of robots, and they're actually at war with another group of robots. And it turns out that there is a race that made these robots, and the robots wiped them out, and now they're engaging in the war between each other because they're stupid and they're dumb. But I also like, side note, I also, when I watch this, I feel like I'm watching the prototype version of Isaac and his race from Orville. Orville.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, actually.
But I feel like this is like that's like an expansion of this idea, because we only deal with these robots in this one episode. And they're just like, they might be, that's the thing, I'm not even sure how sentient these robots are. They just seem like we're at war and we have to fight this war. They don't seem all that thoughtful outside of that. They want to procreate,
the capacity to like acknowledge that the war is over. Like they just can't seem to accept that in any way, which I found really interesting.
No, it's there's, especially earlier in Voyager, there's some interesting ideas they're asking, because the like, yes, we can look at these robots, but like these guys are super smart and super advanced, but they're also so dumb on so many other elements, where it's like they're just basic stuff that is eluding these robots. And Voyager actually asks that questions a decent amount, and I think it's kind of drawing the line between like shitty like programs that we might think are sentient, but they aren't really, and then like stuff like Data or the Doctor that are way more advanced, they actually have interest and thoughts and shit like that. These robots just seem interested in war and destroying each other. I don't think it's a particularly.
This reminded me of from the original series. The white on this face, white on this side, black on this. There's something about it that just like it just kind of rang with that in a way, kind of exploring similar ideas. Not really though. Like the war is all that matters, even though the war is long gone and there's nothing worth fighting over anymore. I thought that was kind of interesting. I just wanted to point it out.
Oh yeah, no, there was definitely ideas from there as well. I'm not like I think this episode's interesting. It doesn't blow my mind though in the overall delivery, but like it's interesting. But what do you guys think?
You know, I think this might be another C1 for me. Not that it's bad. I really
it's
like
fine.
it's a good B'Elanna episode, especially a good early B'Elanna episode, because it's not about her Klingon stuff so much, which is I love her Klingon stuff, but you know, it's like anytime she gets out of that, I think it's interesting. But it's not like I don't know. I just don't feel like it's quite as it's not as high as some of the highs we're about to come to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely still have some highs we're coming to pretty soon. But yeah, what do you think, Ashley?
I don't know. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Probably put it at C as well.
C, okay.
Shout out B'Elanna, but I don't really have super strong opinions on it.
Yeah. Well, I think I think B'Elanna has more potential than they actually give her throughout the series. But we do have another B'Elanna one coming up here with Dreadnought.
Nice.
An old Cardassian missile is captured by the Maquis, reprogrammed by B'Elanna to go after a Cardassian target. And then it ends up getting lost in the Delta Quadrant the same way Voyager did. And they stumble into it and they discover that it's locked onto what it has identified as a Cardassian target, but it's obviously not because it doesn't believe in the Delta Quadrant conspiracy, it calls it. Again, like I feel like this one is playing around a lot of the dumb ideas we get from AI, because AI, you know, what we've seen with especially generative AI is it just regurgitates bullshit, even if it doesn't recognize it, it will just regurgitate bullshit. And yeah, it's said, oh, the odds of us being in the Delta Quadrant are negligible. Therefore, everybody who says we're in the Delta Quadrant are lying, and we have to continue to our program. It's literally become this conspiracy theorist computer that is dedicated to destroying this one target of innocent people who have no idea and are just like, we can't stop this. What the fuck is going on? This also introduces, I believe it's the only episode where B'Elanna, to a lesser degree than Kirk, but like she somewhat has to talk this thing to death to a degree. She's kind of like doing like rewiring to it, but she's also trying to get it in computer games and stuff like that, trying to trick it. I kind of wish, I'll be honest, watching this, I kind of wish we got more B'Elanna talking computers to death. Because I was like, oh, it'd be great to bring that back. Just have B'Elanna doing it. I love that idea.
I actually would have liked this episode if it was like at one point it just kind of became like a bottle episode where it was just B'Elanna on the like we didn't even know what was going on outside of it. I think that would have been interesting. Cool. B'Elanna, right?
Because I'll be honest, I thought the stuff of her on the Dreadnought was by far the most interesting stuff of the episode, because there's lots of outside stuff and it's okay, but like I thought the stuff of her dealing with the computer was by far the highlight. What are your guys' thoughts here?
So we're going to see this idea a lot later on, actually. A lot of these ideas in this episode get revisited in 2 episodes down the road, but we'll get to that in a second here. What I like about this one is the way that it plays into something I said earlier about how AI doesn't accept its mistakes.
Yes.
And it will actively reject like evidence that you're trying to show it that it's wrong, because it's not actual intelligence and it's just kind of just absorbing information and then refuses to acknowledge new information sometimes. I do like it. Like I love like and I know I just said I wish I had the bottle episode things, but I do like Janeway's conversation with like the prime minister of the alien.
I like that
whatever.
too. Yeah.
That those scenes were great. I love his confidence in his pilots. He's like, look, we don't have the weapons, but we have some skilled pilots, Captain. We might surprise, even as like you could tell, like he's not even believing the lie. He's still trying to sell it. Like,
well, I mean,
go ahead.
I like, because you can put yourself in his position and realize, you know, it's kind of like we're fucked, but like we gotta figure out something. Like we can't just do nothing. This missile is gonna blow up a shit ton of us. No, I like that conversation. You can go on.
And I also like when the ships do finally get there, and the way that Dreadnought deals with them is just by just sending out just an energy wave casually. It's not even shooting at them. It's just like just projecting just raw energy, and it just deletes them. It's kind of funny in a dark way.
Dreadnought is kind of a chud. That is true. Just totally rejecting information and conspiracy theorist stuff. There's ideas and thoughts in this episode that I like. I don't think it's a brilliant episode, but I think like there's ideas here that they've expanded on a bit more throughout the series. I would have liked it a bit more. So I don't think it's a complete dud, but I'm not like, for me, I'm waiting for like the highlights of this episode. When they hit, there's some good highlights, but like it's not amazing. I wish B'Elanna had better material in this series, is guys what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But she does get better stuff. But yeah, this is intriguing, but not great. I feel C on this one. What do you guys think?
Sure. To be honest with you, I think I watched this one when I was really tired, and so my retention is not very high.
We watched it late last night, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that would
I'd say it's like a higher C, but it's still C seems fair. It's a mixed bag episode.
Yeah. I like I said, I would have loved that if it became just a regular thing where just there are random episodes where B'Elanna talks computer to death. I would love to just continue that idea from Kirk. But yeah, they don't really, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So next up is an episode I haven't seen for a while, but we watched it for our horror thing, and I was like, oh wow, that definitely fits. So they find Voyager finds an old abandoned starship. The only crew member still on board is a hologram. B'Elanna and the Doctor go to the ship to investigate, and they find out that the hologram killed everybody because he finds organic life disgusting, and he's trying to kill B'Elanna. And yeah, it ends up being like the Doctor ends up being incapacitated fairly quickly because he just knocks out the mobile emitter. It ends up being B'Elanna versus this insane psycho computer program. God, I'm brain farting on the guy who plays the computer program, but like he does a great job of just acting disgusted by humanoids and stuff like that. I enjoy this one. I don't know if it's like the perfect AI episode, but I enjoy this one. What are your guys' thoughts?
Once again, I think I like blacked out when we watched it.
Well, it's been a minute since we watched this one too, but yeah.
This is a fun, creepy one. I do like the creepiness of it, and I do really like the guy who's playing the isomorph. He's just going for it, yo. And I like his little. He's got a fish. He's a fish guy. I like that
hologram fish. Yeah.
And it is funny, like how many of these episodes are going to be about B'Elanna, I guess, because this is 3 in a row where it's a fairly significant B'Elanna episode. I guess this is like a Dr. B'Elanna episode, so I guess it's both of them.
Yeah.
But it's not the strongest one. I feel like it doesn't really have too much to say outside of the idea of robots finding humans disgusting, which has been done a lot in fiction. It's not necessarily bad that it's been done a lot of fiction, but I feel like I question how much new stuff this episode is bringing to the discussion of computers finding people disgusting, and that's my biggest hang up on it. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's also like I feel like it's kind of an extension of kind of like Changeling or even the motion picture. Just done a quite a different view. Like we actually get like a person playing the role instead of like, just inanimate object almost.
Yeah. I almost feel like there's like the escalation of, so it's like he and the isomorph and the Doctor have a scene, and that scene ends with like, oh, maybe this isomorph is a little off in his holographic noodle, and then it immediately goes into a scene with him and B'Elanna, and he just immediately starts screaming about how disgusting organics are. So it's like, okay, so no subtlety, he is just a creep. Okay, sure. I think that might be a big complaint I have, but otherwise it's all right.
Do we want to go B or C on this one?
I don't know why I'm trying to weigh in. I just told you I'm blacked out.
I'm not sure. I think I like it more than Prototype and Dreadnought. Maybe low B. What are we thinking?
I'd say low B just for the dude's performance.
Yeah.
He's a fish guy.
Yeah.
I keep on trying to weigh in. I'm like, I don't remember anything on it, but I think you're right.
You'd probably remember if you rewatched it. It is kind of memorable. Next up, Warhead. They find they're getting a distress call, and they're not reading any life signs on this planet, but they decide to beam down to this distress call. It's while Harry's in command of the ship during night shift. So he gets a hold of Chakotay. Chakotay authorizes the away mission to explore the distress call. So Harry and the Doctor and random person beam down. They find the source of the distress call is this old warhead that thinks it's a human being. And it's like, what happened to my arms and legs? But it's obviously just this warhead. And it's a sentient life. And the Doctor's like, we should try to preserve it. It's obviously advanced, and it's capable of thinking on its own. So they're like, okay, let's try to preserve it, but we need to separate from the warheads. They attempt to separate from the warhead. And then the program figures out how to, thinks that it's trying to destroy them. So it hacks the doctor's hologram and becomes the doctor.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we got more of this, but like I do like the set essentially when it's first hacked and Rob Ricardo gets to do some villain stuff for a little bit. I did think he was great as almost like the quiet villain. I think he does a great job with that. We don't get too much of that though, because eventually it becomes a point where it's Harry and this program and Harry trying to convince the program that its mission has over. It doesn't need to kill its target anymore. And it's really dedicated to its target. But eventually Harry is able to convince it that like, no, your target, you're not supposed to blow up your target anymore. And there is an argument that maybe this program has even evolved more than what it was before, just being in the doctor's body, essentially. Because there's lots of other warheads they encounter that are the same thing, but like they're still focused on the target. But Harry's able to talk this computer into not going after its target. So is this more sentient than the other computers we've dealt with? Potentially, but yeah, there's still some questions for me about the sentience of this thing, even though it seems like it's kind of sentient. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So it's fascinating to me that Voyager has two different intelligent missile episodes.
Yes.
And I think they're both good in their own way. This one, I think, because I watched it second, it feels a little, we're just doing this again in some ways, which is a little unfortunate because I think Robert Picardo gives a hell of a performance in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Robert Picardo is an actor who has an entire series of, this is one of his strongest episodes, but I think this is one of his strongest episodes, like, because he's just doing outside of his norm so much and he's so desperate. And he's so,
yeah. And I like him playing the villain for a bit. Yeah. I like that. It's like, oh, nice. Rob Picardo going evil.
And I like how they try and outsmart the warhead. Like, that's a really fun sequence where they fake an injury with 7 of 9 and they sneak her into the thing to try and do something, but then that goes really badly for her. So all that's great. And I did like this one as a kid a lot just because I wanted smart missiles like that for my Lego sets, because I was like always building space stuff with all my Legos as a kid. I feel like this is another one that's probably going to end up in C for me, but I could be talked into putting it somewhere else.
Ashley, thoughts?
So I was awake when we watched this one.
Ooh.
So I have actual thoughts on this. I will say I think it's fine. I don't have super strong opinions on it. I like the opportunities that it gives Robert Picardo. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's kind of where I am too. It's not bad at all. It's fine. So C tier on this one.
Sure,
I do think it's interesting as we're diving through, we're getting more of a mix. I feel like Voyager is like exploring the idea of sentience in AI, but also exploring the fact that there's some AI that is just fucking stupid. Okay, so next up, this is a fun one.
This is a good one.
Tinker Tenor Doctor Spy. The doctor figures out how to set up his program for daydreams. So he starts just doing daydreaming every once in a while and begins I love the teaser for this, where he's like doing this concert in the mess hall. And
he doesn't even have to stop singing a song.
He's just singing, and then we look at the audience's response. They're all like captivated by a singer, and then we cut to Tuvok, who is like in tears over this singing, and it's like Tuvok is in tears over his singing. But then you find out, he's in the middle of Pon Far. He needs to get laid, and the doctor doesn't even interrupt his performance in stopping him and his rampage of attacking the crew. It's solid gold cheese, and I enjoy the crap out of it. But like, essentially, he's on these programs. There's this alien species. I'm brain farting what they're called, like the Collective or something like that.
They're silly looking, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.
But yeah, there's the alien species. They think they found a way to look in on Voyager's camera, and what they actually are looking at the doctor's daydreams. So they're seeing the doctor as he's getting hit on by B'Elanna and 7 and 9 and Janeway pretty over the top. They're watching the doctor as Janeway is incapacitated and he has to one-shot a Borg vessel. And they're like, oh my god, this doctor's intense. We need to be careful around him. We might be able to outsmart him, but he is a hell of a crew member. Holy crap. And it's just all his daydreams. I don't know if this episode necessarily has much to say about AI, but I think this is so much fun. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I love
think
this episode.
Really
yeah.
I support this one.
No, this is completely silly. It gives Rob Picardo an opportunity to cheese a lot, which is so much fun. Like this, like the crap where like he's singing and suppressing Tuvok is great. But I also think it's hilarious how all the women are just going out of their way to hit on him excessively.
Any excuse to get him alone, huh?
Yes, and they're all jealous of each other, and it's like, okay, sure. Yeah, I enjoyed the crap out of this. I'd probably vote for this A tier, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm into that just because like then the aliens can't tell the difference between the doctor's like dreams and reality, which is kind of like what we're doing with AI in our modern world right now. So like it's pertinent, it's hilarious. The intro is iconic. The photonic cannon is iconic. As a kid, I love when he would like become the captain and then like you get like the little pips on his neck and like for some reason always made me go.
Yes, he gets the pips on his neck, and I don't remember who's watching it, but like eventually one of the crew members watches that as the pips go on his neck, and they're like, "Okay,
that's a nice detail."
Yeah,
he thought of everything.
Yes, very fancy.
I want to say it was either Janeway or Paris.
I was thinking it was either. Oh, it might have been Paris. I was thinking it might have been Harry though too.
I could see Harry being into that.
Yeah. Oh wait, how come he gets pips? I want pips.
You should do that to me.
But yeah, no, it did.
Oh, by the way, I can't remember which episode it is, but in one of these Voyager episodes, Tuvok gets promoted from lieutenant to lieutenant commander. And I'm just here going like, and where's Harry Kim's promotion?
Yes. Can you at least make him lieutenant junior grade? I mean, shit, man.
He's like constantly putting his life on the line for the sake of the ship, and they're like, I don't know, he's such a noob.
And it is kind of funny because it's like, ensign's not supposed to be one of those ranks you're supposed to hold for a long time. Guys know that, right? Not supposed to hold it for 7 fucking years. If you're holding it for 7 years, you're a serious fuck up. Are they telling us Harry's a serious fuck up?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, explained. Next up, we got the Pentultimate Voyager episode. This one's a laugh riot. Personally, this is a Latent Image. It's hilarious, So the doctor comes across this kind of issues with his his memory. Essentially, he comes across this old injury that Harry has, and he has no idea where it came from. And he starts digging up like these files and memories that he has no memory of this other crew member who has just vanished. And what essentially we've discovered is essentially that there was this away mission that Harry, this other crew member, and the doctor went on, and Harry and the other crew member got equally injured. And the doctor, pretty much, you could only save one. He could only save one. And there usually triage would kick in, but the issue was there was no triage. He just, they were both equally injured. They both need the same amount of medical attention, and you only have time to save one. Yeah. And just based on that, he saves Harry because Harry was his friend. And his program starts suffering from this breakdown because, he can't logically say why he let the other crew member die. He has no logical explanation for that other than that Harry was his friend. And what I think is interesting about this, and it was the last minute addition, although I think it's something to talk about, because I think this has less to do about AI and more to do kind of with how the characters treat AI. Because I think in a lot of ways, this episode is kind of about just dealing with trauma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor has trauma to deal with. And and Janeway's approach to it is just delete his fucking memory of the event and pretend like it didn't fucking happen, rather than let him deal with the trauma. And I think 7 of 9 has the great moment where she goes to Janeway, is just like, we need to treat him like an actual human being. You can't you're treating him like a computer program. And yes, he technically is, but like you have to admit he's evolved more than that. And kind of Janeway's treatment of holograms kind of throughout the series has been kind of spotty at best.
If anything goes wrong, kill him.
Yeah. Like anything goes wrong, we're going to put all the files with the Doctor and delete his program. It's like, would you do that if he was just a dude?
Can't you just like delete the files normally? Like...
Listen, we're gonna make you memorize all the important information, and if things go wrong, we'll just shoot you. Like, would you do that to a person?
It's also wild to me. Does it the episode? Because I've watched this one a bunch, but we got to this literally last night after I finished watching the next episode. I realized that this should be on here. This is the episode where she calls him a replicator, isn't it? Like she directly
something like that, yeah.
Like that's wild to me. Like how much has her and the Doctor been through, and she's calling him a replicator. Like I understand. Go ahead, yeah.
It kind of shows how little they've kind of progressed Janeway as far as understanding the Doctor. Because like if this was like a season 1 or 2 episode and she's saying stuff like that, it's like okay, she needs to learn more. I mean, heck, that was part of Measure of a Man, was Picard realizing that he needs to see Data as more than what he's seeing him as. And Janeway, I feel like, never quite reaches the point Picard does in Measure of a Man. But yeah, she's like, yeah, let's just delete the program, pretend like it didn't happen. And it's like, you can't do that. He needs to deal with his trauma. You need to let him deal with his trauma. And to her credit, she does eventually do that in that episode. And that is the resolution. Essentially, they're just sitting with him in the holodeck as he deals with the trauma until he says he's good. And that's kind of what the resolution is, which is what you need to do. But yeah,
I will say with stuff like A Measure of a Man, it kind of makes sense why Picard would be kind of...
Yeah.
Especially because Picard doesn't really hang out with the crew that much off job, And so it makes sense that, like, other people would be maybe more like, because they're kind of used to, like, hanging out with him more on, like, an individual level, whereas Picard kind of only sees him at work. But, like, it is kind of wild, though, with the thing with Janeway. You know? Especially because wouldn't we have already had different episodes talking about the Doctor's sentience at this point? Like,
yes. Well, I mean, yeah, you brought up how like the other crew members are more willing to accept Data, and that's one of the things you just remind me of because like in Measure of Man, it's already well established that like Data plays poker with a lot of the crew, including Riker. So Riker is probably much more on friendly terms with Data than Picard is.
Yeah.
Which is why Riker is much more willing to accept, he's a dude. But yeah, I have strong objections to how Janeway treats the Doctor in this episode.
Yeah.
But I think overall, this is a very good and dark episode, honestly. It deals with some complex stuff. I just am annoyed with how Janeway treats him, but like, it does like the idea that like he just needs to deal with this. Like you can't just delete the memory. He has to deal with that. I think that's a great kind of lesson. It's it's not and the episode's not saying it should just be easy or anything. It's gonna be hard. It's a traumatic event, but like you gotta have to tough it out, kind of.
Yeah. I think this is a very good episode. I 100% agree though that it would have made more sense if they had it earlier on in the series, but they have the episode when they have the episode.
True. Do we want to put this in A tier as well?
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I mean, it's just the performances are all freaking great, man. Picardo again is just a powerhouse.
Oh, Picardo is potentially the best actor on Voyager, I want to say. And there's some good actors on Voyager. Not the best writing, but good actors.
Although I
probably between him and 7 of 9, Jerry Ryan.
Kate Mulgrew is great too.
Kate Mulgrew is also very good.
Even though her writing's not amazing, but
I will say also with Voyager, I think it's also kind of sort of systematic of another thing we talk about with Voyager a lot, which is just like it's so episodic that stuff just doesn't hold over.
And like Lucifer saying, being mad at a character doesn't make the episode bad. 100% true. Yeah, and it's not a bad episode at all, even though Janeway annoys me in it. Not a bad episode.
I mean, honestly, I enjoy that Janeway's just like really wild and ridiculous.
She is.
But there are episodes I'm watching this and I'm like, Janeway.
Yeah, Janeway, fucking relax. Holy crap. Right and that brings us to our final Voyager episode, Author. The Doctor has made a holo novel, and the crew has kind of stumbled into it and are kind of like amazed at what they see. It's been a hot minute since I've seen this one. So, Lindsay, have you seen? You saw this last night, right?
I did see it last night.
Give us a recap. It's been a minute.
It's a fun one, yo. It opens.
I remember enjoying this.
Like Picardo has his little speech at the beginning of the episode, I think, where he's just like, "Welcome to my play. You're going to enjoy this rather thrilling tale," or whatever. And but the idea is that the Doctor has written a book or a novel, a holo novel, because that's how movies and books work in Star Trek. You don't watch them; you are a character in them, and you have to go through all that. And it's about the Doctor keeps insisting that it's not about his story in the Delta Quadrant on Voyager, but it's just about the idea of a hologram not getting the treatment that it should considering all that it does for everyone around it. But like the characters are very obviously based on the Voyager crew. This ship is in the Delta Quadrant. There's a mobile emitter. Like it's very obvious what it's about. And so while his friends want to support him, go ahead.
I was just gonna say one of the elements I do like is how we see the mobile emitter in the program, and it's this huge backpack he has to wear. I do like the symbolism behind that about how he actually views the mobile emitter as like this thing just holding him back. What's
the line that he has where like Blonde is like, "Oh, it doesn't weigh 20 kilos. What are you doing?" And the Doctor's just like, "Sometimes it feels like it does." Just like character development. Like and so the first half of this episode is just like, just comedy Voyager stuff. The Doctor did something mean and now people are objecting to it. But then at the kind of the last little bit of the episode, someone rips off the Doctor and tries to publish the holo novel despite the Doctor wanting to make some corrections before it gets published. Because at this point in the story, they're not always talking to Earth, but they're talking to Earth pretty regularly, which is a sub theme in this episode where people are taking turns like talking to their family members back on Earth. It is a great 7 of 9 scene actually. So then the episode becomes about, who has ownership over things that artificial life makes? The hologram made a play. Does the hologram own that play, or does it owned by no one? Which is a debate we're seeing today with AI generated things and movies and stories and stuff like that, and a little bit with in the past few years with NFTs and things like that. It aged very well as an episode, and I love that we see Janeway in it, kind of preaching to the choir about how is she preaching to the choir about about hollow rights, or is she trying to preach to the choir about not being slandered by this play? But you do see a bit of a progression for Janeway with her relationship with the Doctor too, which is nice.
And an element I thought I had a point. Yes. This episode, I think it's a fun, silly episode, but also brings up some rights issues. I'd say my critique of this is during the second half, it kind of just devolves into kind of a slap shot Measure of a Man remake. Which is kind of but like, I mean, it's asking the questions it should be asking. And I do think it's interesting seeing the Doctor put together this holo novel that is just cobbled together gobbledygook of just Voyager-ish elements. Kind of an interesting look at it. But it is a fun episode. Where do we want to rank it?
I like B, C.
What are you thinking, Lindsay?
I was thinking a little higher, maybe like a B or an A. I love all the weird takes on the characters. I love like the comedy Doctor when like Tom Paris rewrites his entire play, and then the Doctor's like, "Oh, what's wrong with you, doll? It hurts when I go like this." Well, then don't go like that. Like it keeps changing this episode. I like that it keeps shifting gears.
Okay, I think B is fair for this episode.
Yeah, he's good.
We see like how like in the original series AI was kind of just antagonistic. It's one of those things where it's like we should trust our life to it, and whenever they trust their life to it, it's fucking terrible. People just die. And then TNG started asking, what if AI became sentient? Should we treat it like a normal person? And the answer is yes, but like also when it becomes sentient. And I think Voyager starts asking the questions of when does it become sentient? Because some of this shit, you're not telling me that missile on fucking Dreadnought was sentient. That missile, it had an intelligence to a degree, but like it was dumb. And the robots and prototype kind of have the same issue. Like they're just doing their programming. So I think Voyager starts asking a question: when does sentience kind of begin? You know?
Yeah, that is the real big question of Voyager. It's just cool for Voyager, actually, in a lot of ways. It's
kind of to
very
explore a
cool.
bit more of the middle ground. But
Yeah.
then we jump ahead a bit. And before I probably should mention this. So like there is a pretty big AI storyline I purposely didn't put into this because it would be a lot of episodes. Pretty much season 2 of Discovery deals with this super advanced AI that they end up traveling to the future to prevent it from spreading. But like it's a super advanced AI, I believe, from Section 31 that threatens to take over the entire Federation, you know, do big bad stuff. But yeah,
Discovery.
It's kind of worth talking about because it kind of shows how our views of AI have changed back to much more negative ideas where like I feel like TNG air, especially TNG episodes, was kind of like, you know, what could AI become? What could it be? And then Voyager's kind of looking at kind of like, well, AI could be cool, but could also be crap. And then kind of newer Star Trek's looking at kind of like, yeah, AI is crap. And I think we're definitely starting to see that a bit more in Lower Decks, which deals with AI in a few episodes. First one, Terminal Provocations. This one has 2 plots. A lot of these will have 2 plots, but it has plot. I believe I'd say probably plot A is Boimler and Mariner dealing with this other crew member who is just kind of a complete wreck and fucking up everything. Not really pertinent to our AI storyline, which is where the B plot comes in, where Rutherford shows Tendi his new computer program, Badgie. And Badgie is this super helpful computer program that just wants to do everything. But you know what? It could probably do things a bit better if you just go ahead and turn off those holodeck safeties. Just turn off those holodeck safeties. I could just function so much better. You have no idea. And yeah, no, it has. This is like the ultimate holodeck episode parody, in my opinion. It's kind of showing how the holodeck could have this like this bloodlust, and it explains why the holodeck safeties keep on going off because the holodeck is just like, yeah, fucking turn them off. What are your guys' thoughts on this one?
I think it's pretty funny.
It's pretty great.
Yeah,
I love Jack McBride or Breyer. I can never remember his name as Badgie. That's pretty great.
Yeah, he's so happy and optimistic, and he just wants to kill you. Yeah, I know. I think this is kind of hilarious, and I think this is, like I said, I think this is a perfect take of like the holodeck episodes. And when you think about the holodeck, just wanting to turn off those safeties, it explains so many of the situations we had in earlier Star Trek with the holodeck. Where do we want to rank this?
I put this at like at least a B.
Yeah, I think B is good just because like I think the main well, I guess actually the main the with Boimler and what's her name, because that's still kind of dealing with AI too, because that thing becomes sentient and it starts attacking.
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, I think B's good. Although like the steal out for the show is definitively stolen by Badgie.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why he comes back.
Yeah.
But we actually don't cover that episode, but we do cover the next one, which is kind of an A-B plot as well. I'm not even sure what the which would be the A plot or which would be the B plot. So I'll just go over the so there's one plot about them going to the home planet of Chief Engineer Billups, who we find out is part of a colony of Renfarers who have this weird way have this kind of weird, bizarre culture. And apparently once he gives up his virginity, he has to become king of this place. And the mother's doing this whole complex plan to get him to lose his virginity. So he has to come back and stop being an engineer. It's hilarious. Not really AI related. What is AI related is Boimler and Mariner end up having to transport this evil computer voiced by the entire cast of Deep Space Nine. The evil computer has to they end up in a shuttle wreck, and the evil computer keeps on being like, hey, if you plug me into the computer, I could fix all your problems, guys. like the replicator is fucked up. It can only make black licorice, and they're dying of thirst. And I said voiced by the entire cast of Deep Space Nine. If you know that it's voiced by Jeffrey Combs, which I love getting Jeffrey Combs back in Star Trek for this.
Shout out Jeffrey Combs.
I spent the entire episode being like, why do I know this voice? Oh, it's Jeffrey Combs.
I love this episode, but what are your guys' thoughts?
I think it's pretty fun. I like how they sort of, at the end of the day, outsmart it, you know?
Oh, yeah. Boimler absolutely outsmarts it, for sure. What do you think about this one, Lindsay?
Well, the same thing. Anytime anyone just outsmarts someone in Star Trek instead of like a fist fight or laser gun show, like I adore it. And the fact that Boimler tricks him into thinking that he's been plugged into the thing he wants by plugging him into the light controls is so good.
I've attached you to the dimmer switch, actually. That's the only thing you have control of. Wait, what?
The dimmer switch. That's
yeah.
There's the dimmer switch specifically. That's
and he's like, well, I will blind you. Then he just starts flicking it on and off. It's like, yeah, not working, dude. You will phase my wrath. But yeah, no, I love Jeffrey Combs as the computer. It doesn't really have to do with AI, but I think the build stuff is hilarious too. I think both plot lines are hilarious in this episode. I'd put this in A. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah. I agree.
A's good, yeah. Just for Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah. Next. I guess this would be the Peanut Hamper episode because we get a little appearance of Peanut Hamper in the end of season 1, and she ends up drifting in space, and she ends up on this planet, and we see that in this episode of Mathematically Perfect Redemption. She ends up drifting in space. She ends up on this planet of like bird people. She takes on a lover, and
to troll for a little bit. I'm gonna troll for a moment here. I'm gonna be silly.
You're watching it and you're thinking maybe Peanut Hamper's evolving and becoming better, and then we get to the end. It's like, oh god, Peanut Hamper's still a douchebag, isn't she?
Okay, well, I'm gonna troll for a little bit here, and I'm gonna say that this should go in F because of implied bird and exocomp sex.
Was it implied? I'm pretty sure they had sex, Ashley.
It was pretty heavily implied.
Yeah, they definitely fucked. There are some questions how it would happen, but apparently it worked out just fine. I'll be honest, this isn't one of my favorite Lower Decks episodes, but I do enjoy it. It's cheesy fun, and it just reinforces the idea that Peanut Hamper is just the worst. Oh my fucking god.
That is my favorite moment of the entire episode when it's like she's not actually going native, she's just buying time until
yeah, she is the worst, man. I guess any thoughts on this?
I'd probably go like C or B on this one.
What do you think, Lindsay?
I think C is fair. Like, I like that we're not going to have anything in D tier because it's too good for that. But
yeah, none of these episodes are bad in my opinion. There's some kind of but like there's nothing bad so far. Yeah, and that brings us to my least favorite Star Trek episode ever, Crisis Point 2.
Oh my goodness.
Paradox. Okay, so the kids.
Every time I watch this with him, he loses his mind.
Really?
It's the back map guy gets me every time.
Oh, the back map. Yeah, that's
oh my god.
He's just like howling. Like
okay, so I'll let me go into the setup of this one because I've seen this one so many times. So this is a sequel to Crisis Point, although this one kind of explores a bit more the AI elements of it, which is why it's on here. And Crisis Point 1 isn't, although that one is a fun one as well. But Brad made a sequel to Crisis Point. It's a big, bold adventure, but then he finds out that his transporter clone has died, and it puts him on this depression. So Tendi and Rutherford get to go on this big, bold adventure that he set up, while Mariner follows Boimler as he decides to figure out how well the program functions, and going into side stories of the program and making the story, essentially the program, make up stories for him. And we end up with this religion where they worship Kitty Ha.
Yeah.
And there's this old guy with a robe. They go into this back room to discuss things with him. And Mariner's like, man, you're just asking for a backstory, and the computer's just going to make it up on the fly. And the computer goes, oh, you want to hear my backstory? The guy literally takes off his robe and reveals the story on his back. And I'm like, oh God, this is an AI generated thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think this thing just perfectly, like, if you want to talk about generative AI, this episode is what generative AI is, because the storyline Mariner and Boimler go on is one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. It's just the holodeck making up these ideas of, obviously you have this Kitty Ha religion, and they have to figure out what Kitty Ha is, and Kitty Ha is Kitty Hawk Airfield, and it's like, that makes no fucking sense. It's like, no shit, Boimler, you're asking the holodeck to just generate bullshit. It's making bullshit. They go to this sacred rock, and the rock is just regurgitating like standard cliches for like happy days and stuff like that.
Just
Hang
like general
in there,
pablum,
buddy.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's so not helpful. Like, Boimler is seeking deeper meaning, and it's like, you're seeking deeper meaning in generative AI. You're not finding a goddamn thing, buddy. Cards on the table. I absolutely fucking adore this episode. This might be one of my favorite Star Trek episodes, and probably my favorite Lower Decks episode. But guys, what are your guys' thoughts?
I think this has to, like, at very least be high A. It's so funny.
What do you think, Lindsay?
I like this one. I kind of squeezed it in towards the end here, so I feel like I my brain was a little like brr, but it is a very fun one. Like, I love the backstory thing, like you said. I love the moment when Boimler just starts beating the crap out of people just because he's tired of doing things the Starfleet way. Like, there's a lot of highs in this episode. I do quite like it, although I feel like I my brain was a little busy signal mode watching it, but it is very fun.
I also love like how the program is designed to give him a love interest, and obviously it's set up to be the woman at the beginning, because what Boimler has set up is that there's this the chronogamy, and it's this device that allows him to travel through time. Oh, yeah. And the love interest is talking about the chronogasmic matrix. and Mariner's like, should we really be calling it that? God, yeah, no, I'll be honest, I'd put this in S tier because I love this episode so goddamn much.
I support you.
I'm okay with that.
This is hilarious. It's tough for me not to laugh my ass off during this episode. I would argue this is the funniest Star Trek episode of all time. There's funny ones, but this one is just like, oh my God, this is so hilarious. But I do feel like, I feel like there's almost kind of like a horseshoe to a degree, because both Lower Decks and original series seem to take very antagonistic views towards AI. Mm-hmm. But whereas TOS is kind of more, it's a villain and we have to always outsmart it. Whereas I feel like Lower Decks looks at a bit more kind of like, no, AI is just kind of fucking stupid. And we do have to outsmart it, but it's also kind of fucking stupid. What are kind of our thoughts about how Star Trek has addressed AI and AI in general, I guess?
It's been interesting watching it kind of evolve over the series in a way.
Yeah.
And it was really funny for me watching the original, just how they always kind of went zany in order to outdo it all, but then like TNG kind of grounded it a little bit more, and then I feel like it just kind of went off the rails a little bit with Voyager, but like in a good way. It's been fun kind of just watching this one subject kind of evolve over the years.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Oh, no, go ahead. Oh, I was going to ask Ashley what she thought.
No, go.
Well, I mean, I think that like the way in which they sort of address AI and the questions that they ask have changed over the years. I don't actually think it ever like changes like too terribly drastically in sort of like the presentation, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think they ever really contradict themselves.
No.
It's pretty consistent. And like the big like line where it tends to be drawn is sort of like, when does it become sentient? What is sentience? And considering if we're going to apply this to generative AI in real life, which is what this entire stream has been, I'd say that it's, if anything, is pretty against generative AI.
Yes.
Because generative AI, once again, I have to say it, it's not sentient.
No, it's not. No, it's
It
not.
is a word generator.
Yeah, it is a computer bot giving you pre-set up answers to questions. It can edit those answers to a degree, but like, and that's the thing. Like, I think it's worth saying, you know, what we call AI or generative AI, it's just learning programs. These are things they're not sentient. They're not capable of thinking for themselves. They don't have thoughts. They don't have feelings. They can learn, but they can, like, also what they can learn is limited to what they've been programmed to learn. It's all man-made gobbledygook.
And honestly, I think the
yeah.
fact that people are just kind of choosing it when they're marketing it to just call it AI and stuff like
Yeah.
that is sort of to kind of cruise off of a lot of sci-fi stuff like Measure of a Man, you know, that
Yeah.
portrays it as being kind of basically a human. And in a lot of ways, AI in science fiction is portrayed as being almost like human, but better and smarter.
Yeah.
You know, it's to give it sort of this prestige that it doesn't have naturally.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, an argument can be made if we get to an AI like data, an argument can be made. Yes, that is sentient. We are so far away from that with what we currently call AI. Like, it is not the same thing at all. What we currently call AI is just, it's a word. I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it, but it just steals ideas and regurgitates them in different forms sometimes.
Yeah.
I think I did see a video, I think from Joseph Gordon-Levitt, randomly enough, and he talked about how they did this test of AI where they gave it, where they put it in an isolated room where it couldn't leave. All it had was an internet connection, and they gave it a test, and they wanted to see if they could use the internet to break this test, and it wasn't allowed to leave that room. Now you can see the obvious issue because they did give it an internet connection. So it did use the internet connection, left the room to hack the computer with the answers.
Oh, wow.
And then come back with those answers. So
what?
Yes.
Okay.
No, and that's kind of what happened. It's like I could see it doing that because, like, you just program the AI with a specific task. It will look for a way to solve that task.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't care about morality or anything like that. It doesn't care about being honest. It just is like, oh, you want the answers to this test? I will get you the answers to this test. And I think it's a way to. I think how we look at this AI, like we might look at a specific case like that and be like, oh wow, it's so smart, and it's, you know, it's learning how to exceed its programming. It's not exceeding its programming. Its programming was to find the fucking answers, and it found a way to find the answers. It's just, you know, not what we thought it was. It doesn't mean it's sentient. It doesn't mean it's capable of doing anything. I think the biggest mistake they did when they did that test is giving it an internet connection. You should have like set up like a box internet that it can access. Then it can't get out. But like once you give internet access, then it can get out, obviously, because that's what the internet is. But yeah, like you know, you'll hear stories about AI, and I feel like to a degree there is some fear mongering about AI, but also, I mean, overall, my views of AI are negative, and it's pretty much just because it's being pretty much pushed by rich billionaires, and there's certain elements. Like I said, I think AI can be a useful tool at this point, but that's not what it's being used for. It's being used by rich assholes to poison the environment and try to make more money.
I love fear mongering about AI. It's my favorite hobby.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so my view of AI is not necessarily, oh, it's all bad, but my view of AI as it currently exists and what people are promoting as AI is pretty fucking bad.
My view of AI at the current moment is basically just like, guys, can we stop using it for a second?
Yes. Well, you know what?
It's so like bad for the environment, and like, guys, you could just do it yourself.
And you know, one thing I do want to say real fast, there's a phrase called AI art. I want to stress AI art, in my opinion, is an oxymoron. AIs cannot make art. They can make pictures, but it's not fucking art. Humans make art.
Yeah.
And that term drives me absolutely up the wall. AI does not do art.
It's also funny to me that so many people that like they seem to think that they're the ones making the art when it's really the AI that's doing it. That's
Dude,
always been wild to me. Yeah,
dude, I've seen posts I think on Threads where the person's like, Steven Spielberg spent $100 million to make Jurassic Park, and I was able to make the same thing in 10 minutes, and they have this terrible AI thing of a person being chased by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm like, oh, but the difference is what Steven Spielberg made was good. What you made just now is ass.
The difference is that Spielberg had actual passion put into his work. That's my thing about all of this. If you were really passionate about like art or storytelling or music or whatever, you would like actually do it instead of just typing prompts into like an extreme, like an egregiously well known to be like bad computer program.
Yes.
And I think it actually starts in the non really AI episodes. DS9 made a really interesting comment on AI. It's the episode where they all get trapped in like the spy program that Bashir is running, and so they have to basically delete the entirety of the sorry, I touched my microphone. The entirety of DS9's memory core just to store the data that is, you know, the command crew for DS9, because that's how much power and how much memory and how much RAM is necessary for anything to even start approaching real AI. It's just it's too massive and huge and requires too much. We're nowhere near it. I'm just reiterating what you said, Bob, but it's just it's shenanigans. It's silly pants.
I mean, even if you look at TNG and how they treat Data, who's considered kind of like the first sentient AI that we really deal with, how they treat him is kind of just like he's almost treated like almost like an anomaly. The fact that he is able to continue to exist and be sentient as he is almost treated like an anomaly. Like nothing else has really competed. And like we've come across other things that have competed for sure. The Doctor is definitely one. Oh yeah, by the way, weird little aside I meant to bring up when we talk about Prototype. There's this scene in Prototype where she's like, where they're talking about, you know, are there no robotic beings where you're from, Blana? And Blana's like, there's actually one AI being where I'm from. He's actually a member of Starfleet, and his name is Data, and he works on the Enterprise. And it's like, you work with the Doctor, and the first person you come up with is Data? Are you serious? Are you?
An interesting point. Yeah.
The Doctor was right there, man. But I guess the Doctor doesn't count in your eyes, but Data does. But yeah, I thought that was a weird off line there, where it's like, wait, huh? Like if somebody from Deep Space Nine said Data, I would go with it because there's not really an AI crew member there. But like, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think strangely enough, I think if you want the Star Trek episode that best exemplifies what is modern day AI, it's Crisis Point 2 Paradoxes.
Yeah.
Just a really fucking stupid computer program that people are treating like it's really smart, but it is really fucking stupid.
Fair.
It's capable of just throwing some cliches at you and saying things that really don't make sense in the moment, but hey, I guess it says them, so it's smart.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Yes. Anything you guys want to add?
AI is dumb.
Yes, AI is very dumb.
We should not be trying to make Terminator reality because we have cat videos. We have enough cat videos as it is.
You know what I really despise? When people make AI generated cat videos and then they post them. Just show real cats.
Real cats are adorable. Yeah. AI cats are just kind of weird. They're just weird. AI videos are weird in general. Oh, they're getting tougher and tougher to spot. But
post real cat. That's bothering me, actually.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I really don't like how they're getting tougher to spot. You have to stare at a couple of them to really be like, okay, that's AI, right? That doesn't seem right. But they're getting more and more real, which...
Is your skin really glossy because it's AI, or is your skin really glossy because you're using one of those filters?
Yeah, there's that element too. The filters can make it very AI too. But yeah, AI, mostly pretty bad. It could be a cool tool, but that's not where we're using it right now. We're using it to exploit people and resources, and that is bad, and I'm against it.
Yes.
Yeah, AI is only good if it's Vic Fontaine.
Yeah.
The best AI. But yeah, let's see. I don't we'll discuss what our plans will be for our next Star Trek stream.
Yeah.
I know we've shot a couple out there. We can discuss it. Yes. Anything else you guys want to add or promote?
Show business is coming back, or trying to, so keep an eye out for that. I'm trying to make some more content on my channel too. Keep an eye out for that. And yeah, still making some stuff for Magic Channel too. So if you subscribe to my channel, you should see some of that stuff too. Yeah.
Oh, and AI is also being used for porn, which is
yes.
True.
It's a.
I guess that's what the internet's for anymore.
I will say that's also like a really like massive rights issue because AI takes the faces of actual people.
If it just randomly generate porn, it'll be like, oh, okay. But like, it's taking it from other people, and that's one of the big issues with AI art. Just grabs it off the internet from other people, and that's a huge issue. Yeah. And of course, I'm sure this video is getting AI. It's because they're all over social media at this point.
It's so sad.
It's ridiculous. AI bad. But yeah, we'll discuss ideas for future Star Trek streams, and we will be back before too long. Yeah, guys, thank you for joining us. I will be live tomorrow. Comic Books and Chuds. That'll be tomorrow.
Listen to the song that I sang on streaming.
Yes.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Listen to Pill Bottles and Polaroids by the 3 AM Confessions. I am the lead singer on that song, and I wrote all of the lyrics and the melody.
Yay!
Thank you.
Yes, and guys, thank you for joining us. Like and subscribe. Make sure to hit my 2 cents of nonsense. If this one ever does a YouTube channel, make sure to sign up for that one. Apparently, we're both named Bob because I forgot to update it, and it's too late now.
We are Bob.
We are Bob. We are Bob or Dice Chaos. But guys, thank you for joining us. Party on. Be excellent to each other.
Yeah. Later.